All right, friends, and welcome to Rain City Wargaming's Wych Pigeon community livestream. My name is Jake,
I'm Garrett.
and tonight we've got some Warhammer 40,000 for you. Ready to go tonight. We've got a 1,500 point game. Garrett, why don't you tell us who our combatants are?
We have the lovely Chris and his beautifully painted Eldar, and then Dan and his fantastically painted Space Wolves.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and jump into one of those armies. Who do you want to go first? Should I go first?
I went first last time. Why don't you go first?
All right, let's talk about the Space Wolves. So Dan has brought 1,500 points of mostly actually Space Wolf models, which is fantastic. You can see just beautiful, pelts and claws and beards here. Wolves they're riding on, just fantastic. So going down the list a bit, we've got a captain with a jump pack. Bringing with, leading the Vanguard Veteran Squad, also in jump packs. So they're going to be moving around the board a bunch. They've got heirloom weapons and relic shields. Doing big melee threat there. Going down, we've got an Iron Priest who will be hanging out with 2 Wolfen Dreadnoughts, buffing them, healing them, moving around. And then 2 groups of 5 Long Fangs, which are big, heavy weapon squads. 5 men each with grav cannons, plasma cannons, missile launchers, multi-meltas.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang. And then coming down and around, we've got the Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, leading some Thunderwolf cavalry up there. You can see those Wolf Riders there. And then rounding it out, we've got some Assault Intercessors, really the only, Space Marine generic models in the list. And then a Vindicare Assassin hiding somewhere in there.
One whole snipey boy. He's up on the spotter tower.
You can't tell them. They have to find it.
Well, I'm sure they've seen it. I focus in on the whole thing.
Why don't you tell us a bit about the Eldar?
Dang, these damn elves. There's a couple of them here. It's a very kind of fluffy list. We got a lot of just dudes. And then a handful of tanks. A man after my own heart, truly.
Look at this. And we're in more Wych Pigeon colors.
Yeah, it's true. Like the beautiful Eandon scheme, if I recall correctly.
Gorgeous.
And we have Eldrad leading the whole shebang, giving you 2 extra fate dice when you roll the whole gross number of like 15. We've got a Farseer who's looks like he's in there with some Guardians. Who's got a Spirit Seer with some Wraith Blades. 2 units of Guardians. And the Guardians are quite nice because they give you an extra fate die on your turn. Quite cool, those. And then some Storm Guardians, some melee Guardians. Can you imagine some of those Assault Intercessors running into some Storm Guardians with also chainswords and power swords?
Targets.
Yeah, it's perfect. Moving on, we've got 2 dedicated transports, 2 Wave Serpents, which I'm assuming the Guardians are going into, and a pair of Fire Prisms. Now, those big tanks are big and spooky.
For sure.
Big and spooky. Running out the list, we've got 2 units of Rangers, some Scout and some Infiltrate in there, and some Shroud Runners to give you I believe it's lethal hits for anything they shoot at within 12. Something along those lines.
Fantastic.
And yeah, those Wraith Blades are absolutely disgusting in melee. But one fantastic little list.
Sounded good. Let's go ahead and take a look in on our players now because they're in deployment.
There we go.
And there we go.
So it looks like so far we've got the Space Wolves in the bottom left and the Eldar in the top right. Seems like we've got a whole bunch of Reno of tanks. Some... Oh, I already forgotten those names. What are the Wolf...
The Thunderwolf Cavalry?
The Thunderwolf Cavalry. God, I hate Space
Led
Wolves.
by a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf.
Those 2 Dreadnoughts are really what I'm worried about.
And there they are with that Iron Father, hiding behind them. Let's pull up the deployment real briefly. Crucible of Battle, so... We can get the overlay up on the stream.
Mayhaps.
There we go. Turn to look sideways here because the card is vertical and playing horizontally here, but that diagonal deployment, which you can see outlined by those yellow dice here. And then you might be wondering what those orange markers are on the objectives. That our primary mission is supply drop. So there is one objective marked as the Alpha objective. The other is the Omega objective. On turn 4, that Alpha objective vanishes, And then on turn 5, only the Omega objective will remain in the middle.
Yep. It's funny. Turn 4 is one objective leaves. Turn 5, all the other ones go. It's a crapshoot, really.
Yeah, and then scoring. Whoops, I forgot to pull that one up.
It's 5 victory points for each objective you control in no man's land.
In no man's land, right. So your home objectives, nothing.
Then
I
turn
believe
4?
your home objectives are still around in 5 as well.
Nope.
All in no man's land.
Ah.
Apart from the Omega.
There we go.
And then at the end of the battle, 15 VP if you control that Omega objective.
And 8 if you control...
anything in that 4th round when there's only 2. So it goes up. It goes from 5 to 8 to 15.
Yeah.
And jumping into the mission rule here, Vox Static. Our players are going to have to think real hard about when to use that command reroll and New Order stratagems.
It's a mirror of our first game.
Yeah, actually, that's the same primary mission and mission rule.
Funnily enough.
Alrighty.
Now it seems like we have some sneaky rangers moving up the field.
Yeah, that's that infiltrate, hiding in the bushes there.
I don't think so. I think it's you only get primary for holding things in no man's land.
Yep.
Yep.
You're correct.
So again, it's 5 VP for each one in no man's land for turns 2 and 3.
Yep.
Turn 4 it becomes 8 for the 2 remaining ones, which will be that center and bottom right objective on the screen. And then turn 5 it'll just be that bottom right objective remaining in no man's land for 15 points.
15 points. That's a lot of points. And this is a very interesting match in and of itself, given the whole oops all melee, well, mostly melee, versus oops all shooting, well, mostly shooting.
Yeah, another shooting versus melee matchup, which went well last week for the orcs in their melee, right?
Yeah, and also surprisingly went well for the Wych Pigeons and their shooting.
Yeah, though with the strength of the Eldar this edition,
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting to see how they hold up.
Yeah, at least a lot of it is low strength, low AP for the most part on the Eldar. Very, very fluffy. Hey, it's Guardians and Rangers. There's no Aspect Warriors in this list at all, you might have noticed. It's just homies, for lack of a better word. It's just homies. They even got a squad of dead homies, or brought back.
Dead brought back home. Tell me the lore.
The Wraithguard?
Tell me more.
Wraithguard are built with the Soul Stones of the Eldar. That's how they pilot it. And so the Spirit Seer is kind of like your Speaker of the Dead sort of thing. And he's like, hey, there's bad folks over there. We got to go kill them. I don't really know a whole lot about elf lore, elves, but that's more or less what I know.
Interesting.
Any Wraith construct or like Wraith thing. So a lot of not the tanks, but I feel like some of the planes might be piloted by Spirit Seers. I know like the Wraith Lord, the Wraith Knight, so on, those as well. And I believe also the Titans are Wraith constructs, technically.
It reminds me of kind of Rubric Marines and like that whole thing. I just started reading what's the first book of the Black Legion duology about the formation of the Black Legion, and it follows the main character's a Thousand Son, and he's got Rubric Marines with him, and he's been talking about the dust thing and how they're kind of dead, and he's giving them orders. And,
I also heard somewhere that for the Thousand Sons, being the dust is like a sensation of falling, and then you constantly are feeling like you're falling, and then suddenly you're in combat, but you're not deciding what you do. It's the sorcerer.
Like falling. Okay, now I'm in combat.
Right, and you can see it. I don't know. It's something Addie was telling me.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's very interesting, but it's also like incredibly fucked. Imagine falling for eternity.
Unpleasant.
Unpleasant.
To say the least.
Yeah.
As long as you never hit the ground, I don't know.
Just permanently, skydiving. As Tom Petty once said. And I'm free.
Free falling.
Yeah.
Alright, it looks like we got a little bit more on the board. Some infantry on the Eldar side, just grouping up around that home objective.
The Storm Guardians, the melee Guardians, who don't seem to be on the field, do have sticky.
Oh.
If they control it in their command phase, it is sticky objectives.
Nice, and that's going to be useful on this mission where you don't really care about your home objective except for that secondary where you need to control
Yeah.
that one and the ones in no man's land. So just having it be sticky back there, you can go run away from it. I don't know if anyone's got anything in reserve. Some of the wolves do have deep strike available. The captain and the vanguard vets.
And the Terminators.
There are no terminators in this list.
Yep. Wolfguard Terminators?
Nope. Wolfguard, the wolf and dreadnoughts.
Interesting. He might have had him out on the field for the video just to like fill out the field a
Oh
little bit.
yeah.
I was wondering why you didn't bring those up in the video. Like they're right there. Those are the other like firstborn just generic Marines.
I think
don't
that's
know.
the what fills in those last 500 points if he was playing at 2,000.
No, I'm running this as Gladius Task Force, which is so that's like
Yeah, so a good point that Dan just mentioned. Running the Space Wolves as Gladius.
Yeah.
Right. The good book. Jesse can hear us saying it. We like the book. The book is good.
The book is dumb. The space book says this is bad. Well, good thing I can't read.
Except here the Space Wolves are using the good book. So
Some things to note. I forgot to mention the enhancements
yeah.
that Chris is bringing with his Eldar. The Farseer has Reader of the Runes. These are the fate dice, it looks like. In your command phase, you can reroll one fate die. You can use that new result. And then the Spirit Seer, once per turn, can choose hit, wound, or a save roll just to become a 6.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Just turn it into a 6.
just turn into a 6.
The captain with the jump pack has the Artificer armor, which, if I recall correctly, is that 2-up armor save and 5-up feel no pain. So his save base is 3-up, and then 4-up invuln. So now he's got a 2-up, 4-up, and that. So he's 2-up, 4-up, 5-up.
Interesting.
Alrighty, it looks like our players are done deploying and probably ready to roll off to go.
I'm assuming these are
first.
fate dice.
Do fate dice happen before we roll to see who goes first?
Yeah,
Interesting. Or are they for the game at the beginning?
yeah.
Oh, why don't you tell me a bit more about fate dice?
Fate dice. It's the army rule of the Eldar. It's also very weirdly written rather. You roll 12d6, and if you choose to, you can re-roll the entire thing, but you take out a die, so you roll 11 instead of
Gotcha.
12. These
Mulligan, like a
you
magic.
you can mulligan.
I'm going to pause you right there because I think our players are ready to get started. So if we could get them to do a quick overview of who's deployed where and then roll off to go first.
Cool. So, got my fire prisms in the back. Hopefully, deployed out of sight for something. I got 2 wave serpents here. The wave serpent with wraith blades and spirit seer, and a wave serpent with the guardian defenders. Guardian defenders on the rear objective to generate some fate dice. I got Eldrad and Storm Guardians up front, and then I have some bike sniper boys. And then I got these 2 sniper squads that are forward deployed into the middle of the battlefield.
Perfect.
Cool. For me, I have 2 Wolf and Dreadnoughts with axes and shields, along with a Tech Marine or an Iron Priest with them, and a squad of Assault Intercessors. I have a squad of Longclaws with the plasma cannons and a missile launcher kind of hanging out in the back. Going into the center, I have a squad of 10 Vanguard vets led
Woof.
by a captain with jump pack. There's a Vindicare in there, along with another squad of Assault Intercessors. And then over here, I have 3 Thunderwolf Cavalry led by a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf. In reserves, I have a squad of Terminators, and then another Longfang squad, but with grav cannons and a multi-melta.
Cool. Sounds good. Let's roll for the first time.
Excellent.
Alright. Ooh, alright, you got it.
Okay. Did not really want that. Cool. Have a good one.
Alrighty, so it looks like we've got Dan is rolling the yellow dice.
Chris. Dan is rolling the other dice, yes.
Alrighty, and Chris has got the Waystone dice.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so leading off with the Space Wolves, like it says on the screen, and
Yep.
we'll see some secondaries in just a moment.
Okay. Secure no man's land, and then investigate signals.
Secure no man's land and investigate signals. So, secure no man's land is to control 2 or more objective markers in no man's land, and investigate signals is about getting into the corners and doing some actions.
and secure no man's land.
Do.
Get on objectives.
Yeah.
Secure no man's land and investigate signals. All right, we can go ahead and pull those up.
Okay.
All right, secure no man's land. 2 or more objective markers in no man's land. Get 5.
Oath.
Or 2 for the little version.
I don't really have
Investigate signals. You go in the corners. You do an action. You get 2 VP for each corner that you scan.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be wholly within 9 inches to do that action. And there we are.
All right, and it looks like the wave serpent towards the top of the screen is our
it's wholly within?
at the moment target.
Okay.
Right, because we've got Gladius Marines here. Well, at the moment, it's all Marines.
Yeah.
I might just screw that one then. Yeah.
All right, and it looks like actually the wolves are going first.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
because they're rolling the yellow
Yeah.
dice. Yeah,
For some reason, I was thinking that Chris was rolling the yellow dice.
because he has the yellow army.
Yeah. Even though I know he's using the waystone dice.
And also, it's just like we've got the folders being the opposite of the colors that they are on the top.
Plasmas are
Just
36.
deception, plans within plans.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll play.
How very witch pigeon of us.
Alrighty, so this diagonal point is going to be interesting for investigate signals because you're already fairly close to those corners if you want to be.
Mhm.
As deployed here, a little less good for that right corner, just because the building only goes about halfway across. But you have your home deployment and then the other corner pretty easily.
Gonna front
I'm not sure if those cavalry really want to stand around in the corner.
starts with
They may actually just give up on investigate signals and go run onto the objective.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
It's more points, right?
Mhm.
It delays it, but
I forgot that he doesn't actually have OC, so that doesn't really matter a whole lot to me.
yeah, interesting thing about the
Wolf
Wolf
and
and Dreadnoughts. No OC.
Nope.
Yeah.
OC 0.
The Wolfen
And
are-
something else to note for our friends viewing at home, the little
you're not very good at.
trees in the deployment zones, those little tree L's, we are counting those as ruins. Just because it's thematic and it looks
Yeah.
good on the table.
You get some visual variety, but still have the good rules
Yeah.
for terrain. So a little advance for those assault intercessors. Going to go jump inside the building.
Those aren't just the assault intercessors. Oh, he has 2.
Yeah,
Forgot he has
he's
2
got
squads
one,
of
he's
assault
got one that's
intercessors.
down by the dreadnoughts, and then the other one is in the top left of the other building there.
Yeah. And I'm entirely conflicted on this game. I know I should be rooting for, well, should is a very strong word. As an Imperium player, I am predilected towards the Imperium player. However, they're Space Wolves.
Not a Space Wolf fan.
No, play Dark Angels.
Yeah, good point.
Not allowed to be.
I like Space Wolves exactly for the little rivalry they have going, because it's like a friendly rivalry. It's not like Space Wolves and Thousand Suns where they fucking hate each other.
I wouldn't even say it's really that friendly.
It has this like one-upsmanship to it.
Yeah.
Back in 8th, there was a stratagem if you brought, because in 8th they encouraged bringing multiple detachments, right?
It
to
wasn't even a
UCP.
stratagem. It was a requirement.
No, there was a
Oh, okay.
it was like a war gear, like a pregame stratagem thing for if you bring a group of wolves with your Dark Angels. There was I forget exactly what it did, but it's like you got worse at one thing and better at another thing.
What it was if you either brought Space Wolves and Dark Angels, or if you were facing each other, you had to select a champion to fight, and whoever won the fight took a mortal wound, but then got a higher strength and attack, and whoever lost took D3 mortal wounds.
No, they're mounted.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then you start the game.
Yeah.
And it's very thematic. It's just a copy of what the Lion and Russ did.
Right. They had their duel,
Yeah.
and then
And by the way, the Lion won. But that's how the Wolfblade came to be, his eviscerator, the big chainsword.
I mean, the last time that I put Lionel Johnson against a Lehman Russ, it destroyed it.
Yeah.
Different Lehman Russ, but it was
Still a
tank,
Lehman
but,
Russ. A Lehman Russ is Lehman
oh,
Russ.
Lehman Russ, not the Lehman
Yeah.
Russ.
I'm sure there's a way we can make that happen in Horus Heresy.
Ooh.
Lion versus Russ. Now, if only we just knew somebody that had Russ.
Does he
Matt.
have Russ?
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, okay.
That just would mean I need to get the lion.
There you go. You gotta get it. Gotta paint it.
Oh boy, I haven't painted any of my 30k Dagas.
At the San Diego Open last year, GW had a promo of if you buy a Primarch, you got a free drink ticket.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I bought Mr. Heresy himself because I'm painting up some Sons of Horus.
Senor Heresy.
Mr. Heresy, Horus himself, and I got a free beer.
I'm not sure that's a very worthy trade.
I mean, you also get the Primarch, so
Yeah,
it was just like a bonus.
right. I do have Mortarion. Still haven't built him. I've had him for over a year. I've been terrified to paint
Yeah,
him.
Mr. Heresy is still in his box.
Yeah. Oh, I accidentally threw away my box. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. Those
So-
boxes are nice, though.
That's the
Vanguard Vets.
vets that jumped up to the middle there. Yeah.
Laser.
End of my movement. Thinking about shooting now.
Time to start the shooting. The shoostin'.
Here we go. We got the laser for some line of sight, and that corner's a little tight, but I think they've just got the nose of that wave serpent there.
Yeah, I think just maybe.
And depending which ones these are probably
Here's the
36 or
plasma.
48.
Okay, so they're all in range.
The plasma's 36.
T9 on that thing.
Yes.
They've also got a missile launcher in that group at
Yeah.
48 inches.
Hmm.
Okay, all
I think you might be right on that one, Matt.
overcharge the plasmas.
Ooh, plasmas might be blowing themselves up.
He's still the overcharge is worth it for the damage, but he's still going to be wounding on 5s because he goes from 7s to 8s.
Yeah, and T9 on the wave serpent.
I get 2 shots. They move, so it's going to be 4s, 5s. Now re-rolling on the plasma. Okay, so 5s.
I'll tune in for that, Eddie.
Hey, you got
Make sure you tell me when it is.
overcharge. That's strength 8. So that's going to be 5 again.
There's one wound. Oh, it's Oath.
Oaths, so he's got the rerolls.
That's AP minus 2.
Hmm.
Normal save.
Yeah.
And I fail. Damage.
That's 2.
And then here comes the hazardous check.
See who blows themselves up.
11 wounds.
Okay, and then the missile launcher, I'll do the crack missile.
It's after all the attacks are rolled.
Re-rolling.
Now, what's the unit ability on the Devastators, or the Long Fangs, as it were now?
I'm going to use the once per chance.
The Long Fangs
Turn that into
have fire discipline, so if they remain stationary, which I don't believe they did this turn, they moved
Nope.
forward to get on that to stand on that objective. But if they remain stationary and the pack leader is still around, you pick an enemy unit that's visible to the pack leader, and you get to re-roll 1s to hit against it.
Interesting.
In addition, they have an Armorium Cherub. Once per battle, they can turn a hit into a 6.
Cool.
correct.
I'll use fate dice here to
All right, so Chris using a Fate die here to give the 5-up invuln to the Wave Serpent.
And Vindicare will pop a shot at the other wave serpent because might as well.
And that Vindicare's just popped out of that building in the corner.
Just a bit outside.
It also, as a reminder, has
7, so 5.
Lone Operative and Stealth. So,
Okay, I think that's
Mhm.
cool. Yeah.
Producer,
Get anything for
could we remind Dan to do his hazardous check for the plasma?
Thank you. Okay, so I fired 2 of them. Oh, I think, or is it?
5 and a 6. They're
It's-
fine.
Just once.
It's 1s. Yeah.
We'll just be consistent that it's once for the rest of the game, either way. Okay, so I don't get anything for investigate signals. I do have 2 objectives in No Man's Land, so I do score.
So he'll get
No
those.
Man's Land.
5 points for Secure No Man's Land.
So,
Yeah, so
cool. We'll keep that. Alright. And
There we are.
that's it.
All right, over to the Eldar, turn 1.
Cool. I'll get a CP.
And it looks like he's holding on to Investigate Signals.
Looks like it.
CP
Alrighty.
okay, you got that one.
over there. Start of my turn. I get to generate a fate dice because that is on the objective there. The guardians.
Gotcha. So anytime those Guardians are on an objective, just start of his turn,
Yep.
extra Fate die.
Mhm.
Just add it to the pool.
I will.
Excellent. Otherwise, the rest of them are just generated at the beginning of the game?
Yep.
Alrighty.
That is too many 6s.
Right, there you go. Alright, so let's see. I get to do a fortune. Start measuring some stuff over here.
secondaries for Chris. Mm.
Can you say your secondaries, Chris?
You're right. So, secondaries will be engage in all fronts and bring it down.
Alrighty, so engage in all fronts. Hard one to do turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be in all 4 corners of the board.
So that change things, 'cause this is either
And
fronts. I would really
bring it
focus on
down
shooting your stuff.
is about destroying vehicles and monsters. Now,
Bring it down, vehicles
uh,
and monsters.
It's just the dreadnoughts
at the Thunderwolf cavalry are mounted.
mounted.
Yeah,
So why don't I just
Hold it within 3 table papers.
and for bring it down specifically, let's go ahead and add those in over here.
dreadnoughts? Yep. T9.
So what? Engage on all fronts.
Toughness, or 2 up save, 4 up invul.
Bring it down.
6 up invul.
Bring it down specifically is about if the wounds characteristic of the destroyed model gives you extra points, but those dreadnoughts, go ahead and pull them up, Wolf and Dreadnought. 8 wounds, so they are not worth additional points there. Which means I think it really is just 3 VP each. Sorry, 2 VP each plus an extra 1. So if he kills both of them this turn, that'd be 5.
2 whole points. Is it 5 points per?
2 VP per,
Mm-hmm.
and then because it's tactical, you get an extra VP when you score it.
Right. And Chris was asking if you can fortune something that is in a wave serpent, and you do need to draw a line of sight to the thing you are fortuning. So the answer is no.
There were some interesting things also in early edition where people were wondering if you could, your apothecary can bring a Terminator back when they're off the board or not, because certain things were worded that like they don't happen when you're in a transport, but they
Yeah.
might when you're in reserves. Alright, so not the things in it, but the wave serpent itself.
Mm-hmm. It's on a 2-up, interestingly.
Right, so he did discard investigate signals.
Yeah.
For the extra CP. It's a good move. I really like that. Holding onto it, discarding gets you that extra CP. It can be really advantageous when you're just like, that's an objective I can do, but I need the CP right now. So
Right.
especially turn 1 where you're like, if I redraw, if I spend that, especially this game when it's 2 CP,
2.
you can't your 1st turn. But you're like, oh, is it worth it? You're like turn 1, you're like, nah, it's just free CP.
Yeah.
Just accelerate a little, get a little
Mm-hmm.
ahead early on.
It looks like we got some Wraith Blades popping out of that wave serpent up there. Gonna challenge some of them Thunderwolves. Probably.
Gotcha. So they're jumping out, moving, right?
Yeah.
3 inches,
Mhm.
then movement.
And they move 6. They're very slow for elves.
Fun fact I meant to mention when I was playing up a card, I have the backsides of all the cards available now as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So if we want to talk about someone's loadout or who they can lead, we have that available now.
Perfect. All right, and it looks like the Thunderwolves have some ability to yeet.
Yeah, I believe this is just the Space Marine stratagem.
Oh, to move.
I
D6.
forget. That's the other thing I have available this week is how well they look on stream because they'll have really tiny text. The stratagems. That's
Hey.
squad tactics. 1 CP. When the opponent ends a move with a 9 of you, you can move D6.
Interesting.
Or the full 6 if you're in tactical doctrine.
And that's something the Eldar Rangers just have built in.
There you go.
If you end up within 9. You can't do it if you're in engagement range, though. And you can't go into a transport because you shouldn't be able to. That's ridiculous.
The Tau can.
The repulsor can
Breachers.
as well.
Oh, yeah, the repulsor can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got
The Talon Masters for the Dark Angels also have that built in. The
The
kill with a
move.
9, they can
Yeah.
move 6. And they have a base movement of 16.
Fast.
Wild.
They're
Yeah,
super fast.
I bring them just as objective monkeys, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I need to be investigate signals. Need to be in the corners here. Whoosh. Oh, it's a little further. Great. I'll put them in tactical, advance, and do the action.
they are not
Just this dude.
just that dude.
Alrighty. So yeah, bring it down, he's going to want to kill those dreads. That top
Mhm.
dread is pretty well hidden behind that building. I think it's going to be pretty hard pressed to draw line of sight to it. But the dread in the rear there, just sticking out. Probably some good lines available.
I have the unfortunate circumstance of having a Puddle of Mud stuck in my head. Puddle of Mud, the band? I'm sure you do. If it came on. She Fucking Hates Me is one of their big ones.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Wolf is the cat.
The other one is Blurry, and that's the one that unfortunately is stuck in my head. Good old butt rock.
See, he's just trying to, I think, position that wave serpent such that he can get some good line of sight
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
on that dread if he can. Also tag the objective. Don't think it'll be enough OC to control it with those.
It's two, OC2, and it looks like
those vets
there's...
are HOC1, and I
Looks like there's
at least
three?
three of them,
Yeah.
if not four.
Mm. And these are the Storm Guardians with Eldrad, and Eldrad's a motherfucker, let me tell you what.
Tell me what?
All right. Probably a good idea. He has
Yeah.
two different... his melee attack is anti-infantry 2.
Anti-infantry 2.
Yep.
Melee.
Yep.
Eldrad doesn't want to be in melee, though.
No.
Okay.
It's 3 attacks on 2s. Strength 5, but anti-infantry 2.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
2 damage. And then his shooting attack is anti-character with precision
Ooh,
at an
that's
18-inch
nice.
range. Yeah. A D6 damage. It's only one shot, though. And they are both psychic attacks.
Nice.
But he does give you some other shenanigans. He lets you roll that extra 2 fate dice, like I was saying. And then Doom. I believe it's in the command phase. I actually didn't write that down, and I should have. But something he can see with an 18 gets +1. Everything in the Eldari get +1 to wound against that on a 2-up.
Eldrad.
Eldrad. Doom. Shooting phase.
Select an enemy within 18 inches and visible.
And a 2-up, Eldar get +1 to wound against that unit.
Excellent. +1 to wound is excellent.
Yeah.
And just because I can show it off, look. He can lead Guardian Defenders, Storm Guardians, and a Warlock Conclave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as Ryan's saying, if you can thin out those vets, if you can battle shock them,
Yeah.
get them OC0, take that middle objective back.
Mm-hmm.
Those Rangers back in the corner are almost certainly going to hold that one. So that'll go from 5-10 against you to 10-5 for you.
Mm-hmm. And there are more Guardians in that other Wave Serpent down there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Or more realistically, hold it to a 5-5 because you each probably won't control the center on your own turn.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's reading through all of the Eldar data sheets. It is very strange. It's like, oh, this is just that other unit, but better. Or, oh, this is the same as that other unit ability, but better. Like the Wave Serpents, with their Battle Shock, it's once per game. But they also make you take D3 mortal wounds.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's like, pretty sure there's a Space Marine vehicle that does that. I don't remember which one.
I was just reading about someone did something like that. The Wolf and Dreadnoughts do mortal wounds on the charge. And there's something Battle Shock in here somewhere, but... Oh, the Vindicare Assassin.
Oh, yeah.
When they crit, it's additional 3 damage, and then you gotta make a battle shock test.
Yeah.
They can select someone that they hit, doesn't have to wound.
The part I'm really scared for.
All right, looks like those Guardian Defenders have gotten out of the Wave Serpent at the bottom.
There we go. And are just shy of the objective there, but that's all right because there's the Rangers holding it down.
And they're positioned in such a way that it looks like there's just one of them that's towing onto the objective at the very, very bottom of the squad.
Yeah, and I think probably more relevant will be that line right there where they've got that line of sight
Yeah.
to the
On the
dreadnought in
Shuriken
the
catapult?
middle there.
Shuriken cannon, sorry.
Yeah, we really need that draw and stream technology.
Yeah. One of these days I'll be able to bring in my tablet.
That'll be my next project to add that to the overlay.
I have the tablet. I don't have a second pen, but that's easily fixable.
No, you just need one pen, it's fine. Also, the laptop over there that's running the stream is the touchscreen with a pen, but it's running the stream.
Yeah.
And it's over there.
The only problem with my tablet is it would need to be plugged into the stream computer.
Well,
Yeah. Something to talk about off stream.
there are ways. All right, yep, so the Wave Servant just, leapfrogging there over its,
Good old fly.
over its allies to sit on that objective. And again, also, just looking at that line, I mean, we'll see if they pull the laser out later, but just has a line on that other dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the fire prisms in the back.
Yep.
I remember them because in 9th, and I don't know if they still have this, they had a thing where if one could see you,
They
the other
still
one
do.
could send its shots through it.
Yep, they still can.
There you go.
Shooting.
Only on the anti-tank profile, though.
First, starting the shooting phase.
Which honestly, that's the one you want to use in that long line to the dreadnought.
Yep.
2 up.
Okay, so not going for the dread, going for the vets.
Yep. The Van Vets are doomed.
Doomed.
Doom.
Going to lethal hits them.
It's like Lord of the Rings, right? Mount Doom.
And
Elrond, if I recall.
shooting.
Producer Lily would know.
This fire turn to shoot its big cannon through this.
I was there, Gandalf.
There we go. He's doing exactly what we were just talking about.
Yep,
Shooting
stalling fire.
through the other fire prism.
Mm-hmm.
Both hit. And
And
it's
this,
12, I believe.
strength 18.
And then reroll.
Yeah, so the detachment rule for Eldar is the old Ulthoi rules from 9th edition. So you get to reroll 1 hit and 1 wound.
So that was that reroll right there.
But the Fire Prism's ability is you get to reroll a hit and a wound. So they get 2 rerolls.
Oh. And that stacks because they're from different sources and you can target different dice.
Right. So it's just like they get to reroll their big anti-tank shot.
And if they only have 2 shots, then that's just everything.
Yeah, it is. It's 2 shots on 3s rerolling.
Okay. Do you mind passing me one of those things down there? Cool. So I got 3 left.
All right, Dreadnought down to 3.
Okay, that was this guy. This dude is going to shoot his bright lance into there, and his shuriken cannon into there as well.
Okay.
So
All right, everything from the first wave serpent into that wounded Dreadnought.
fails,
And he has the reroll that he has forgotten.
T8. But
he gets a 5. Eldar reroll. Nothing. Okay. And then the bright lance shot. Hits. Wounds. And this is going to be
Right lance is the one you want, right?
Yeah.
For the on the dread.
is
Mhm.
here. And it's bright lance, I believe, is 12. That's where I was mixing up. Bright lance is 12. Yes.
AP.
Mine's
3.
Okay, so 4 of emblem. Make it.
good.
Yep. And there's the 6.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that changes things
I'm surprised Chris did not use a fate die.
into that.
Okay.
Just make sure
He's doing the other one.
shooting through it. Yep.
Mhm.
Or I guess now the one that's not shooting through.
He's doing the dispersed shots.
Ooh.
And then
The dispersed shots are 2d6 each.
-4.
So he's using the wrong word for the correct profile.
Gotcha.
Ooh, I'm in range.
And then did it looks like the Dreadnought saved.
Yeah, he did. Rolled another 6.
There you go. That's all you need to do. Roll sixes.
Just roll 6s.
Happy? Alright, moving on. Let's go with.
So thinking about his other secondary engage, if those, what are those in the top center called?
Wraith Blades.
Those Wraith Blades make the charge on that cavalry, then they'll have 3/4.
Yep.
More than likely.
For 3?
For 3 for, I believe, yeah, little engage is 3 points.
It should be 3 then 5, right?
Believe so.
And then strength 6 to 8.
Yeah, 3 then 5.
And then this is going to be.
Because at this point, it looks like he might not be getting bring it down because that nothing else has shots on that back dread that's low.
Which one?
This is this guy into there. Cool.
All right, this is into the other Dreadnought. Does not make that save.
Fails it, but
Yep.
CP it. Otherwise, I'm going to fate dice him for 8.
Fate dice him for.
oh, because you can use the fate dice for damage, and wound-wise, he's only got 6 wounds. So, no, sorry, this is the dread. He's got 8 wounds exactly. So
No. Okay.
All right,
Didn't
Dan
CP it.
spent the 2 CP to reroll. Didn't make it.
that's right, 2 CP. Did he say 2?
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
yet, but relying on 6s. It's not always.
But you got
Hey.
a few.
Okay,
Ooh.
so
So Dan only takes 8
I think they are both
damage. They're both down to 3.
Nice.
A 6-up shrug coming in clutch there.
The dreads are 8 wounds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Bright Lance is D6 plus 2.
Got it. Oh, this was the Feel No Pain, the 6-up
Yeah.
Feel No Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Guy. T6, 3-up save, 4 pinball, and 6 wounds.
T6, 3 up save. How many wounds? Sorry.
6 wounds.
This is for the cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll shoot the. Yep, I'll shoot their sniper rangers into there. So it's gonna be 5 attacks, hitting on 3s.
These are the Rangers into the Van Vets. And they are positioned.
-1. And this goes on the guy, on the captain.
So it's 4 up,
2 damage.
2 damage.
Dan should actually have a 3-up because he has Artificer Armor. Is it on the Van Vet Captain or the Wolf
The
Lord?
captain with the jump pack is the one with the Artificer Armor.
That's...
So yeah, that's with the Van Vets.
Yep.
Oh, that was the precision shot? Yeah,
I
you should
believe
have
so.
that Artificer Armor.
No, it is up top. So that's where the damage dies.
Yeah, right. That's the Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf,
Yep.
who has, 3 up, 4 up.
Mhm.
Eldrad is going to do his Mind War on. You have a captain there. Oh, it's a character in there, right?
I do.
Okay. Okay, so range weapons Eldar.
All right, this is Eldar's Mind War, which is anti-character 4-up and Psychic.
Okay, and then it's strength 5 plus 1 to wound. So
Mhm.
3. What's your toughness?
T4.
Okay, so it's 3. It's on 2. Okay, and this is -2
4 up.
on the character.
Yep.
He's good.
All right. That would have been D6 damage into the Wolf Lord with Jump Pack.
Could have been a lot.
That would have been a lot of potential damage.
Can you shoot a pistol? If I shoot something else? Pistols, you have to. It's either one or the other, right?
I
Mhm.
know that's how it was a 9. I don't know about 10.
It's one or the other.
One or the other.
Oh, it's one of the other. Thank you. All right. We'll do the 2 fusion guns for the squad then. And
2 fusion guns, little mini Meltas in the melee squad, funnily enough.
2 shots hitting on 3s. I'll use my Aeldari reroll there.
All right.
Strength 8 plus 1 to wound with 2s.
Double check something over here.
There you go. -4.
I'm sorry, who's this again?
This is this squad. So Eldrad's group still.
Okay. Into the captain or just into
No, everybody.
4 up pinball.
Good. All right.
All right, that Invuln coming in clutch there for those Van Vets.
Are they not?
The gears are a turning. The mind is a humming.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was double checking. The Terminators that he was talking about in reserves earlier were not in the list that he was sharing before, and I said, oh, maybe he changed something around, but then I was doing the math and went, no, I think those are part of his normal 2,000 point list.
So I know we had a squad of Terminators in our little opening video, but those are just for aesthetic purposes.
They're trying to activate the teleporters, and some sort of Xenos jamming device has prevented them from teleporting into the battlefield.
Some Harlequin fuckery.
One damage each.
One damage each. So, bloke and a wound. Would you mind passing me a red die?
That is one dead homie and one wounded homie.
Thankfully, he's got a lot of homies from left to right before he's
We
got to start
do.
peeling them off the objective.
Catapult. Should not be 8 dice.
The +1 to wound is like an effect on the targeted squad.
On the targeted
Yeah,
squad.
got it.
The catapults are from the regular guys, that's right.
Gotcha.
Terminators are many of the Witch Pigeon's aesthetic.
They're
At
beautiful
least-
models, and they're good units.
There are at least 3 of us.
I've just wrapped up some assembly. I got a few more to go until I think I'm going to be able to field 2,000 points of almost entirely Deathwing Terminators.
Nice. I can also almost do the same.
I think you did during that tournament where we were the bottom table that one time. It was all Terminators.
Yeah, well, there were 2 squads of Blade Guard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was all Deathwing. Now it's changed a little bit with the points
Yeah.
changes. But yeah, it is mostly Terminators. And Dark Angels are arguably the best way to play Terminators.
I think so.
I am not biased.
We're not biased at all.
Not at all.
Alrighty, so another Vanguard vet peeled off just bit by bit by bit.
By bit, little chipping.
There you go, into the 6.
That 6 should have been sustained. Now it is something to note here that this is Chris's second game with his Aeldari, and Dan's like 5th or 6th game of 10th. So there are going to be a
A
couple
lot
of
of changes
mistakes.
to get used to, a lot of things to learn.
Absolutely.
Especially Aeldari have so many rules,
Eldar coming from Custodes too.
right?
Ooh, scatter lasers. If only those 6s did anything.
And with that's
Oof.
how much is
One damage each.
One damage
It's
each, so
another-
Marine and a half.
With such a
Thankfully-
small amount of units, I'm not sure jumping everybody up so fast into a shooting army was the right play.
It's hard when because you don't really want to go first as the melee army. You
No.
want to, in this setup, right? You want them to have to come forward in the objective, so now you have some charge targets in your turn.
Yeah,
But absent that, I mean, you got to hold the objective, especially when you get secure no man's land
yeah.
as your secondary first, and you've got to get up there and hold them. And those center ruins don't really have a lot of room to stand in, so it's not even like you could have like stood in the ruin and just tagged the objective.
Yeah.
You got to get forward. So there's still a good number of vets there. I think there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
6.
and the leader.
Yeah.
No, 6 and the leader. There's one more in the corner there.
Mhm.
So they're not battled. They're not having to take a battle shock test yet. And they're not going to get charged because there's a big old wave serpent in the way.
Yeah.
So they will likely get that counter charge off next turn. But
And since they have the jump packs, they can just hop over that other piece of terrain right into those Storm Guardians.
absolutely. Some nice juicy T3 targets over there.
Hmm. And Eldrad.
Although, with his
It is
twos
the
and
truth.
twos.
He also has a 4-up field or 4-up invuln rather,
Yeah,
and
it's-
5 wounds.
2 at -1. Actually, don't do that. I don't think Shuriken Catapult can see. Yep.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Just kidding.
And
Shuriken Catapult doesn't have line of sight.
Cannot see.
Farseer, see if he's got you.
Should be the Shuriken Cannon on the support squad.
So now with that pulled, I don't think he holds the center. I think it's 2v2. Because he pulled one more model on that side.
Mm.
Unless that one guy's just touching, which I don't think he is.
I don't. Maybe.
We gotta get the bigger monitor in here next week.
Yeah.
And strength 6 +1
Mhm.
wound, 2
Enhance. Enhance.
4 -2.
I missed a perfect chance to do a Tokyo Drift joke with the wave surf.
Oh, and
So the first one.
Maybe next turn.
next turn.
Yeah.
So there are 2.
If we see it
Yeah.
and we watch it go.
Yeah.
Build it. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it in the box.
It has to be done. At this point, I'm committed.
Yeah, see, because of the positioning of the leader, he's now having to pull off the objective. That's the thing I found really interesting about Temp, that I have to be really, really conscious of where I place those leaders now.
Yeah.
Because you can't pull them. Even if you decide, you know what, no, I'd rather hold the objective and lose the character, you don't have that choice. You have to pull the other ones first. And so making sure that you position those leaders where, within that the most important spot, the area, the side you don't want to pull from.
Yeah.
And then I will roll the dice with its charge. 7. Good thing.
All right. So
Gotcha.
Chris just using a fate die to guarantee the charge.
7 looks like it might just 7 and change. Yep,
Bump.
there you go.
And everybody else will not.
Another classic.
Mm-hmm.
So there comes 7 here.
What's the other classic?
Bop.
Mbop.
All right, the Spirit Seer and the Wraith Blades coming in. Those axes are no joke from the Wraith Blades. There's 3 attacks each.
I do not.
Strength 7. AP 2 for 2. Hitting on 4s, though, is the problem. And I forget if the Spirit Seer gives them +1 a hit.
And the cavalry just have 3 ups. No invulns on those boys.
The Spirit Seer gives them not only +1 a hit, but also lethal hits.
Ouch.
Yeah.
This could be really bad for the cavalry.
Mm-hmm. +1 a hit
They do
and
have-
lethal.
They do have a good number of wounds. They have 4 wounds each.
So every 2 failed saves kills, being
Right.
2 damage each.
And one of them's already down
3 attacks per
a
rate.
bit. And that making that charge means, as long as they don't, whiff and then get wiped in the counterattack,
Mhm.
that he's going to have the little engage.
No lethal hits there.
No lethals.
No lethals, but a great number of hits.
Yeah, really good number of hits.
Oh, wounding on 3s.
3s and then
Ooh, lots
Oof.
of 1s and 2s for wounding on 3s.
his enhancement. 1 after its roll, flip it to a 6.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
then you still have your Eldar reroll.
That's 6
The Ulthway, yeah.
-2.
6 at AP2
What's the damage on these?
2 damage.
2 damage.
should be
2s
4
this would be on
ups.
5s,
Go into
because they're 3 up base.
Do they not have an invuln?
everything.
No invuln on the cavalry.
On the,
Weird, they have shields.
I think that kills 2.
Not on the list he gave us.
Hmm.
They're not infantry, right?
No, they are mounted.
Okay, cool. And then Spirit Seer. He has 2 attacks.
Oh, and the Spirit Seer with his own
He
sword.
may have just not updated the war
Maybe.
gear, because everything's all war gear's free. So
Here.
Mhm.
Nothing. Alright. Okay.
He did a 6 to wound with the Spirit Seer. It is anti-infantry, but it's only strength 3 otherwise.
Cavalry and the Lord have extra attacks with the same profile, so I'll do those all at the same time.
it's the extra attacks are the bites.
The Mountie.
So it's 6
Yeah.
extra attacks from the teeth and claws.
They're not exactly at the same profile. They hit one worse.
And then this is strength 5.
Unless he swapped the heirloom weapons for something else with the rogue shield.
These are doing. He was doing the extra attacks first.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say the bolt pistol can be replaced with the storm shield, so that's what he must have done.
Yep.
And the storm shield gives him the 4 pinfall,
Yep.
The cavalry.
which I think is the correct choice. A bolt pistol's not really ever gonna do much, and a 4 pinfall is gonna do a lot.
Yeah.
Fives. 1 wound, AC -1.
1 wound with those heirloom weapons.
Puts it on 3. Good.
Makes a save.
And then
Now for the regular attack, sitting on 3s, 4 each.
That was the.
Oh, that was the regular
Yep.
attacks.
This is the Lord.
Ah, yes. He's got
Oh, 4 misses.
strength 5.
It's less than a 50% hit rate on 3s. Those are some Garrett rolls.
Just 1.
and this is one of those things that happens a lot with
Damage?
Space Marines. Is like when you're shooting or hitting your oaths target, you feel great. You're like, I'm hitting, I'm doing damage, I'm wounding. This feels great. And then you go to hit something else and you bounce off like that.
Yeah.
Where you did 1
So
wound.
that's the end of my turn. I did not get Bring It Down. Engage, I do think this is wholly within a table quarter.
So he's getting little engage for 3.
So that's 3/4.
Yeah, so 3 more table quarters, and these are all 3 inches away from any other table quarter. That's
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
You score 4 VP.
Is little engage 4?
I get 2 VP for that.
Yeah.
3 VP.
3.
3?
You get plus.
Because it's tactical, he gets an extra.
Thank you. Yep, so 3.
Yep.
And I'll keep Bring It Down.
All
He's gonna
right.
hold on to bring it down because those dreadnoughts are
So close to dead.
yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at our end of round scorecard. Looks like so far, Space Wolves
Return reach for the CP.
Slightly.
slightly, just barely. And
Then-
then
As well.
start of turn 2.
Okay, so capture enemy outpost. Jesus, I'm not getting that one. Attempting target. I imagine you do this one, but maybe not. Or maybe it's this one. I don't know.
And attempting target is the same as it was in 9th edition. Just control 1.
That the opponent picks.
Yep.
And I have to try and grab it.
Seems like the pretty clear choice, that bottom right one.
Mhm.
The assault intercessors are there, and they could
So see these guys?
do
They are
something with it.
OC2.
I believe they are. They're 2
Yeah, because they're battle line.
They're 2 of them.
And the cavalry also OC2.
Yeah. What is the
Oh, he's
abil-
actually picking the top left as tempting target because,
There's nothing up there.
and he's got 4 OC on it, and Storm Series are at least 4 because they've got at least 4 bodies on them.
Yeah. In their T7
Got it.
with a 4 up invuln and a 4 up fight on death in melee.
Yeah, I mean, he may just end up having to have them fall back and stand there,
Yeah.
but then he might get overwatched, and then it's gone.
Those
I think
those
if they're tied 4-4, he can't control it. There's nothing he can do.
the Wraith Blades don't have guns.
I'm saying one of the other.
No, you'll have it because veterans
So no
or
primary for this turn yet.
Yeah, this
Oh, and primary,
yeah, this
Did
Uh,
they get any?
he doesn't hold. Yeah, because they tie the top.
Hmm. And
They lost the middle, and they lost the bottom right.
Okay. Battle shock tests.
ooh, those vets.
Everywhere, pretty much. So let's start with the wolves. They're good, and with the vanguard vets.
No buenas.
No. So they are now OC0 and cannot use stratagems.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just double check them. They might be higher.
Be interesting if they were fearless, like they were last edition.
The vets.
The Wolf and Dreads.
Mm.
Good. And then
They're OC0 anyway, so you're just really losing the stratagems. part.
Stratagems, yeah.
and can't have stratagems put on them. Cool. So that's attempting target. Yeah, I think the Wraith Blades will be the Oath of Moment target.
Got it.
Can you remind me?
Which one are the
do you know
Wraith
if there are,
Blades?
restrictions?
Those are the Wraith constructs in the top right that just went in, or top left that went into the Wolves.
Got it. Yep, they're a pretty good oath target this turn because if you if you manage to get through them in the fight phase, although you're not fighting first, unless you have some access to fall back and charge, which I don't believe they do.
One of the doctrines, right?
Yes, you're right.
Assault?
Tactical. No, assault gives you advance and charge. Tactical gives you fall back and shoot and charge. So if you give them tactical, you have them fall back, you have them charge again, so you can fight first. You get some oaths on them, you clear off even one of them, and then survive. Now, surviving is going to be the operative word there. Then you get that tempting target, and you continue to deny your opponent 5 points there. But if you fail on that counterattack, though, if they take even one of you away, now your opponent's getting 15.
Yeah.
For primary.
Which rough.
Yeah. I wonder if instead you have them fall back and have other things shoot at them and just leave the cavalry out of combat for a turn.
Well, because he also has the assault intercessors that can go in, but those are just going to bounce off the T7.
Yeah, I think.
I'm going to do assault doctrine, which is advance and charge. I'm going to spend.
All right, just giving them advance and charge.
For adaptive strategy. This one, that squad is going to be under the effects of tactical.
There we go. So cavalry is going to be in tactical. Everyone else is going to be in assault. So everyone else has advance and charge. They have fall back and shoot and charge. So looks like they're going to do just what we were saying. Fall back, charge back into them. Also get the assault intercessor where they can advance and charge into it and just try and clear that squad as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Now, because you'll have 2 units going to them, there is the risk of the interrupt. 2 CP.
At that point, you just sacrifice the assault intercessors because they're not as valuable as the
Give
wolves.
the cavalry go first. The assault intercessors might just have more attacks, though. You might actually want them to go first. Because they're going to have, what? There's 5 of them times 4 attacks. That's 20 attacks.
But what is going to do more damage in the end?
Yeah, it's all 1 damage, whether it's the assault intercessors or the cavalry going into it.
That's lame.
And it's strength 4s and strength 5s. So it's all wounding on 5s either way. And all with comparable AP1. So honestly, maybe you do the assault intercessors first.
Yeah, at that
They've
point.
also they reroll, well, oaths, they'd be rerolling everything. They get to reroll wounds if the target's on an objective. But it's oaths, so they're rerolling everything anyway.
It's also like, what about the captain, right? Captain's got a bunch of attacks.
He does. He's got 10 of them, but they're the same profile pretty much. His twin lightning claws, the twins not doing anything because oaths, you're already rerolling, so they're strength 5, AP2, 1 damage. It's not a ton. You're hitting the same and wounding the same for fewer attacks if you lead with the cavalry.
Yeah.
Just that little extra AP on the captain would be the difference. AP2 versus AP1.
Yeah.
And we're talking 17 versus 20 attacks. It was like 3 less attacks worth the extra AP on 7 of them. Math hammer.
Man, everything is just slowly chugging up the board. Though this is the speed turn, but they're not moving as fast as they could be. Lots of 1s on these advance rolls.
Yeah, last turn too.
This one is also going to advance.
Yeah, it makes that charge a little dubious. Whereas that charge seems
Almost
all but
guaranteed.
guaranteed. You can stand on the center per tournament rules, which we're using because that's the secondaries we're using.
Down there, and it's going to be with this fire prism shooting into that.
Yeah, for those of you who weren't following this drama at the launch of the edition, in the core rulebook it says you cannot stand on the objective markers, that 40mm circle in the middle. The intent here seemed to be they wanted people to be able to bring fun models that represent the objective and could have something there. The tournament pack rolled that back and said, hey, when you're playing tournament style, you can go ahead and stand there. It led to some really weird interaction around it when you couldn't quite get everyone in.
Yeah.
You would use it as a barrier so that now the charges couldn't quite fit.
The priest will also advance. 1. Advances are not fantastic. It's just here.
Now, I imagine what's going to happen is He's going to fall back the wolves. Dan, by he, I mean Dan, is going to fall back those thunder wolves. Is going to bring in his other squad of Longfangs from reserve and just start kabooing.
That's right. Those Longfangs are in reserve.
And technically, so are those Terminators. Forever.
They're not leaving reserve,
No.
but
They're-
they are in reserve.
Yeah. They're going to be in reserve at the end of turn 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of turn 5, even.
Well, turn 4 they die.
At the end of turn 3, they die.
Is it 3?
Yeah. They gotta come in on 2 or 3, or they're dead.
It's different in different games.
Yeah. It's the same as it was in 9th. For yep. So those Rangers using their reaction move to just say nope.
It's a D6. I didn't see if there was a roll for that.
Oh, is it D6? Not a
Yep.
flat 6.
They basically just get the old Eldar shoot and scoot.
Fire and fade.
Yep. It's a stratagem now.
Yeah.
There's also Phantasm, which is the same way.
Right, because we got those assault intercessors on the bottom, and those on top. Yeah, those other Longfangs are in reserve.
The
that's
assault
right.
intercessors are now controlling that objective.
Yeah, because we've got maybe one Guardian towing in, and then the 2 OC on the Wave Serpent.
Versus 10.
Yeah. And now he's measuring with that 9 inches away from that Wave Serpent if he can get enough of them in there to get a good line on it.
Yeah.
It might actually just be worth tucking them in that other corner. Or behind the building to the right. They could pick off some of those fire prisms, maybe. Clear out some nice infantry around there.
Yeah. What does his other squad have? The grav
That's
cannons?
the grav cannons, which are anti-vehicle 2-up,
Oof.
hitting on 4s. AP1 3 damage. Also heavy, although you will count as having moved for coming
Yeah.
in from reserves. And then 1 multi-melta in there.
Okay, they're gonna stay off the table.
Oh, now coming in this
Okay.
turn.
Yeah, if you can't get all of them to line up on that Wave Serpent, like try and finish it off. Otherwise then they just die next turn, right?
Yeah.
It may also be worth waiting for Bring It Down. Maybe he draws Bring It Down next turn.
It's true.
Gonna go into there. How many wounds does the
All right, the Vindicator going into the Spirit Seer.
Yep.
A very, very quick death.
It's got that precision.
I'm gonna pop
And yep, he's going to use that once per game.
once per game shield breaker, so no saves can be taken against the
No saves of any kind.
okay, so
No regular saves, no invulns, no demon saves, nothing.
okay, so 2
Lightning fast reactions from -1 to hit. So the 2 goes to 3. Roll to 3.
T7 on the squad, so on a 4. Make it. Okay, so that's just 3 damage.
Yeah, the Exodus Rifle has devastating wounds, ignores cover, heavy,
And precision.
which
right?
he didn't. I don't think he moved, so the heavy would have canceled out that -1 to hit. And precision, 48 inches, 1 shot, strength 7, AP3, D3 plus 3 damage, no saves of any kind.
Mhm.
Did he?
Okay.
Yep.
This dreadnought
Killed the
So-
Spirit Seer.
Oh, it's gone.
Yep.
There you go.
can actually shoot.
How many wounds does the Spirit Seer have?
3.
Oh, there you go. D3 plus 3 does it. And that's a good pickoff, right? Like those benefits he was getting are no longer going to the unit. What's the unit no longer have?
Lethal hits and +1 to hit.
Yeah,
And
that's-
also bringing a model back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, that's a really good pickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially here, where you're about to charge back into them and you want to not die to the counterpunch.
Yeah.
Especially on an interrupt. That's a really important pickoff. And it's why
Gotcha.
one of the reasons Imperium armies are pretty strong is the Agents of the Imperium.
Yeah.
Right? You can bring in this Vindicator Assassin, which is an amazing sniper. And then you also have, what are they? The Exactors?
Yeah, the
The
Arbites.
Arbites.
Yep.
They're like the cheapest points per model in the game.
55 points for 10.
Yeah, 5.5 points per model. Just super cheap bodies, and not bad for how cheap they are.
They hold a point.
You can sit them on a point and hold it. They've got a couple guns.
You bring them on for investigate signals. You bring
Right.
them on for engage.
Spare bodies to run around the board.
You get 2 of those boxes, which is unfortunately why you can never find them.
They're sold out everywhere
For
because
kill
A,
team?
they're really cool models.
Yeah.
Like I wanted them even before they 10th came out, and they were good.
There's good news. You can just substitute some Necromunda models for them.
Yes, the Palatine Enforcers have that right look.
And the Palatine Subjugators for the shield ones.
Yes.
Alternatively, I'm sure you could use Breachers, and nobody really
Navy
knows.
Breachers also a good stand-in if you're not also bringing Navy Breachers. Navy Breachers, another one of those agents of the Imperium.
Yep. Though it is a shame for us kill team players because we can't find the boxes we
That actual
want.
kill team,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, the Kasserkin.
Yeah, they've been sold out for a while.
Couldn't. All the
Since-
guard players were like,
At the end of
yo!
9th, when
Yeah.
they're really,
Everybody
really
was
cool.
like, oh. And all of us kill team players are like, but they're good. Let us have our cool thing.
Wounds. That one is.
So at least one bike dead.
I am, with that purchase of those breachers over there, I am ever closer to having all of the Imperium kill teams.
Nice.
I need a handful of more. And then, the time to paint them. That's the hard part.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Producer Lily and I just picked up Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, that
Yeah.
Titan looks so
Put together
great.
some Titans.
Mhm.
Very excited.
I'm so excited for that to come back out. I still want to get that Lancer over there. There's no reason for me to get it, but I want it.
It's a beautiful model.
Yeah.
It's plastic now.
Yeah.
All right, so this is that one of the that bad advance roll means this charge is a little long.
A little long.
5's not terrible. 4's even better.
4 is even better.
And
Oof.
roll the
Easy.
big numbers when
So turn 1 was a little rough for the Wolves. They weren't able to get into melee at all. And they, unfortunately, with the secondaries they drew, they had to really push themselves up the table, which led to such a punishing bottom of round 1 for the Eldar. They were able to basically pick up the entire unit of Van Vets
right.
and most of those Thunderwolves.
Yeah.
2 out of the 4 gone.
But now, things turning around, looking up for them. Got a couple good charges off in some good positions.
Yep.
Had some good shooting. Had a great pick off on that that Spirit Seer. And now making a few more charges.
Mhm.
The very important one still, that's a little long, is those Assault Intercessors.
Yep.
Probably, 4 or
Ooh.
5 inch charge.
Van Vets into the Rangers.
Into the Rangers?
Mhm.
Oh, because they're in the building right above. Yeah, that's a pretty good charge. If you get a big enough... Oh, it's only a 5. I was like, if you get a big enough roll, you actually probably want to get into that building. Jump through the wall and around. But
And unfortunately, I don't know if Dan has the CP to really re-roll this charge. Because it costs 2.
it goes 2 CP with Vox Static.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Uh-oh. Our webcam is down.
Yep.
Let me pull out the app and see what's going on.
I don't think the app will connect to it while it's connected to the computer. It might have just gotten bumped.
It might have died.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, in the meantime, if you could turn the, in-game layout, turn the dice thing off so that we can see the dice tray underneath it. I think our dice cam is cursed. We replaced it this week with the GoPro.
And I didn't think to charge it before using it, like, an intelligent man would.
I mean, it is plugged in, so I thought it'd be drawing power from that, but Producer Lily, the power button is on the
It should be a
far
red
side of
light.
it.
GoPros do tend to overheat.
Yeah, it's actually pretty comfy.
This was very necessary.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, that's all of the attacks. Do you have CP to interrupt?
Nope, I'm out of CP.
Okay.
All right. And the interrupt we were so worried about just no won't come to me.
There we go. Spent the CP on other things, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start at the oath target. I'm going to start.
Yeah, there's a
with
lot of good
the
fights here.
Thunder
Yeah.
Recovery. I'm going to spend a CP for. Honor in the chapter, which gives them lance.
All right. So +1 a wound on the charge will be wounding on 4s then.
excellent.
Lance is +1.
Is this the Thunderwolves or
Yep.
the?
So
Okay.
extra attacks. Force.
And on the charge, they get an additional damage in melee. So
Interesting.
there we go. That's the 2 damage now.
And then the captain's still at 1, or
Captain's
he'd be up
still
to
at
2.
So
He'd be up to 2 for the charge.
Nope, Captain doesn't get that. Just the cavalry does.
that's 3 wounds.
Could be wrong. It's actually probably.
All right. 3 wounds at AP1.
Each time this unit makes a charge move until the end of the turn, add 1 damage characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit. I guess that applies to the captain on the charge, because he is part of this unit. That's one of those ambiguous ones.
3 damage. Sorry, wounding on 5s. Reroll. 2. 8
All right.
1. This is 2 damage.
3 ups, cool. It's 2 damage, kills the others. Cool.
All right. So that's 1 of the Wraith Blades down.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about at the end. On a 4-up, they get a fight before they die, which could spell big trouble for them, their assault intercessors.
Is that all? They always have that fight on death? It's not even a strat?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just their unit ability.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Then it'll be force. Force reroll. Wound.
Eh.
Okay, so that's 5 at AP2. 2 damage.
5 4-ups.
Fail 2, 3, and so it's going to kill the guy. And kill another. Okay. And let's see, on 4-ups, 3 4-ups, see how many we can fight back.
All right.
Looks
Looks
like
like
2
2 of them get to swing, and he could just put them all into the assault intercessors.
It's got to be the ones who died, so it has to be into the cavalry, I think, because no one was in. The ones who died were not in engagement range of the
That's fair.
intercessors.
1.
4 up. Yeah.
Go-
the
GoPros tend to overheat
on the charge,
until they'll just shut off.
CP to do the lance.
The last thing to check, Producer Lily, would be opposite where the USB is the power button.
Over there.
Pressing and holding that for a few seconds, seeing if it turns back on.
Yep.
Consolidate.
I have an entirely different song stuck in my head.
And there we are. Yeah, these assault intercessors hopefully should be able to pick up these last 2. And then hold that point.
If not, they already hold the point.
And that's going to be tempting target.
Mhm. Looks like it just might be dead.
Yeah, it might just be the dead battery.
Yeah.
Do you mind handing me a pile of some?
And the assault intercessors get +1 to wound, or they get to reroll wounds,
They
right?
reroll ones to wound, and then the opponent's on objective, they reroll the whole wound, but it's oaths anyway, so they're.
Producer, I'm assuming the battery's just dead.
From the squad. Hitting on 3 is reroll.
So many dice. Less dice in 10th, by the way. Less dice, less lethal, less rerolls.
It might actually be less dice for some things.
It is,
Yeah.
but not everything.
Too many hot rolls heating up the dice cam.
Except for those advances.
We need to roll some more poor advances to
Yeah.
cool down the camera.
Dan, advance everything.
I've also been eyeing a new camera, so maybe I'll have to buy that
Yeah.
as well.
And then we could just use the webcam as our dice cam.
There we go.
We know that one works. I was thinking, since I bought that new suit, can I just label that as a business expense? At least like the blazer part of it, right?
This is not legal advice.
No.
It's like that,
Okay.
oh, what's the show, Lily? It's a write-off. We're just gonna write it off. Just write it off.
For the
What show is that?
Suits?
let's just go here.
David.
So that's gonna
It's the family.
Schitt's Creek?
Schitt's Creek.
be 4 attacks from the regular dude.
It's the write-off people. I don't know.
Lethal hits damage.
There's looks like a couple of lethal hits.
3 wounds.
Woof.
5.
T3.
So 3. So 4 wounds. AP minus 1.
If you want to focus me on sixes. Fail 3.
And then the Thunder Hammer. Lethal hits, devastating wounds. 5 attacks on 3s. 3 hits on 2s.
Lily. Suttermorn is Sean.
AP 1.
Our buddy Sean.
AP2.
Okay, goes right through.
And Sean, we do appreciate you always making the streams. Means a lot to us, buddy. Thank you. Woof.
And no more
Those Rangers are gone.
Yeah, they're very squishy targets,
Very,
right?
very
Like,
squishy.
T3, 1 wound.
They have a
T-shirt
5-up info
saves.
against shooting.
That's decent. Yep, and consolidating back onto the point there.
Yeah, because they couldn't get into engagement of
I
the
think
Serpent.
technically they were close enough to the Wave Serpent that they would have had to go into the Wave
I
Serpent.
do think so.
with
I
those
think that is
rules.
something we should tell our players.
Uh,
The Vanguard
Yeah.
vets were in range of the Wave Serpent.
yeah, so when you consolidate, if you are able to consolidate into an enemy,
You must.
Well, so first decide if you're consolidating or not. If you decide to and you're able to base an enemy or get an enemy, you do, and you're only allowed to go towards an objective if you cannot make it to that enemy. One of those changes there. I mean, yeah, and here he can kind of do both,
Yeah.
right? He can tag the Wave Serpent and the objective there.
No, that's like an yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those new nuances in 10th that
That's the deep lore.
Right, so Dreadnought.
Dreadnought on 3s.
And he's -1 to wound.
I have been saying. Casting these streams has really improved my game knowledge on that kind of minutia. I know more about more armies than I have before.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an ad for watching Rain City Wargaming. You watch our streams, you're going to learn about different armies. You're going to be more prepared when you come to the table.
And especially because the theme so far has been Space Marines and not.
Yeah, actually, because you keep asking me which army I want to take notes for, and I say the one where I already know most of their rules.
Yeah. So cue me learning a new army every week. It makes sense. I'm supposed to be, the color commentator, right?
If you ever want to kick it back at me and give me a hard one, let
It's
me
all
know.
good. I mean, that'll be our caster game, right? The broadcaster
yeah.
battle?
We'll get some guest casters in to be us, and then we can go play a game.
Or we're just broadcasting our own game.
What I think Garrett's trying to do here, stop telling them my strategy.
Just shut. Shut.
And this Dreadnought.
That would be fun. Battle of the Lions.
Ooh, Dark
That'd be
Angels v
fun.
Dark Angels.
From the tech research.
You'll play 30k rules. I'll play 40k rules.
Oh, I'll absolutely shred you. Here's a murder strike on a 4, buddy. Instant death, just gone.
Just one.
No, but I can't instantly die because I'm playing 40k rules.
I'm still winning you on 2s. I'm strength 6ers, UT4. I'm winning you on 2s because that's 30. That's heresy, baby.
Assault intercessors. There's not really any more room for me to pile in.
Yeah, he's tucked pretty tight in there between the the trees and the wave serpent and the guardians. You know, it's
Yeah, back to the game at hand.
yeah.
Ignoring our bullshit.
And I
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, this one was fortuned from this first.
Okay. Well, the other two will, slap at the tank and won't really do anything. So let's just.
Yeah, I wish there was a rule, an equivalent "our weapons are useless" rule in 40k.
just like if it's different enough, you just can't even wound. You mean?
If you can't even wound it, you can just leave.
It's actually because you're on the objective. It's going to be.
Because in Heresy, you can't fall back
So.
unless he has a rule that unless you have a rule that says so. That's how Heresy works. You can't do this unless you have a rule that says you can.
Gotcha.
So I think it's.
And yeah, we were asking earlier if those guardians are tagging the objective. They just are because he's getting his full
Full
wound
rerolls.
rerolls.
Yep. Just that one little homie.
3 8 -1 4 ups.
And this is looking to be quite a good turn for the Space Wolves.
We are doing your and Ryan's mission. It's the exact same thing, except for the deployment is Crucible.
Yeah, for folks tuning in, the deployment Crucible battle. The primary is supply drop, which is that Alpha and Omega objective where they'll be disappearing. They'll be disappearing from left to right along that top to bottom, left to right axis there.
Yep.
And
Our mission rule is Vox static, so it costs 2 CP to re-roll and to use new orders.
On 3s, rerolling 1s.
and I think in just a minute at the bottom of this turn we'll do a score update as well.
7 at AP1. I'm assuming these are into the Guardians.
Yeah, he said the assault intercessors are going entirely into the guardians, which
Except for the ones that can't.
right. I think it's the right choice, right? Like as many as you can into the squishy infantry.
Yeah.
And as few as possible into the
Yeah.
big vehicle that you're not going to hurt.
Looks like 6 of them go down.
That's a good
Yeah.
good clear. It's
Out of 7 dice. That's just unfortunate
yeah.
if you're an Eldar enjoyer, which I'm not.
I do hate seeing beautiful models die, and it is such a beautiful army.
Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous.
Bright yellow colors.
So first will be the Wraith Blades.
All right, now the Wraith Blade's coming back to take a swing.
Yep.
The Assault Intercessors not quite being able to take them up.
Not quite. There's down to 1 wound left on that one.
Mhm.
And then 1 more.
And it's going to be six dice. Take it off 4 now.
And for those of us tuning in, we do have these little kill team objective markers on our Alpha and Omega objectives. Number 4 in the top left is our Alpha, and number 5 in the center is the Omega.
Or rather, the bottom right is technically the Omega, but they put 5 because it'll
that
disappear
how they
on
did
turn
it?
5.
Is that how they did it?
Yeah, I believe so. Because when they were telling me earlier, they said Omega was the bottom right.
Got it.
Yeah, I think they labeled them by the turn that they're disappearing during.
Gotcha.
Unless they just changed which one the Omega objective was, in which case we'll find out when we get to turn 5.
So we sure could. Anything can happen. All right, this is the Farseer that's in the Guardian squad.
Right. Ooh, 2
Woof.
6s. Look at them Waystone logos.
Gorgeous. Again, not biased. Very biased.
Guardian's not even going to bother swinging.
No.
Just not worth.
They're going to be winning on 5s. Yep.
Yeah, so tempting target. That's 5 points there. And yeah, I think discarding capture enemy outpost, seeing with those fire prisms
Yeah.
back there, and then is that just more guardians?
Yep.
That's a good one to discard. Alrighty.
All
And
right.
so with that, we can do a little score update as we jump over to the Aeldari turn.
Now,
Because these guys were battle shocked, I think I only have 1 OC on the point.
Right, because the Dreadnought
Yep.
has no OC. They're battle shocked, and so yeah, 5
So
for
Chris gets
primary
5
for
whole
the
points.
elves. Before battle shock, he needs to do secondaries.
The hardest part of 10th is getting used to the secondaries.
Remembering to flip those.
Defense
Ooh,
stronghold.
that's a good one to have
Easy
this turn.
points.
Easy 3 points.
Easy.
Reminder: defense
Oh.
stronghold is 3 VP for holding your deployment zone, which that top right is well held. And I believe he's held on to bring it down from last
Yep.
turn. So there we go. Defense stronghold, and yeah, he still has bring it down. Yeah, which I mean, if he just those dreads are both into vehicles that can shoot at them anyway.
Yep. And then so could the fire
I guess the
prisms,
dreads themselves are vehicles, so they can
Yeah.
be shot at regardless, so you don't even need to fall back.
no matter what you do.
And so in killing both, he would get 5 VP, right? 2 VP for each, and then an extra VP because it's tactical.
Yep. Now it does almost look like those Thunderwolves are not quite in combat with those Wraithblades.
They might have been pulled out based on the order in which he did that. But also that Wraithblade was closer to that Thunderwolf earlier. He can't have piled in that way because he's got to end closer to the closest model. So,
I don't remember. I was distracted by a talk of heresy.
yeah. Well, we'll see. He also could have pulled them in that order.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge difference game-wise. And in fact, pulling out from the Thunderwolves, I don't know if that's a good or a bad choice. They're going to get to charge you, which is no bueno, and they get that extra damage. But it also means that you don't have to fall back for them to be shot at, and we've got those fire prisms up top.
Yeah, if those wolves are left alone, they could potentially make a beeline to that Guardian squad on that objective.
That
and they
as
would
well,
just
right? They got
pick them
that.
up.
You could spend that CP to put them in Assault Doctrine.
Mhm.
They have a big old movement. I think they're 10 or 12 inches because they're 10 inches, yep, for those Thunderwolves. Get a good advance roll, average 3, 13 inches over, and then, you know.
I think average 1.
Average, yeah, no, in this game,
average
one.
1.
And then you still got decent odds on that charge.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know if I love it because of the Overwatch you're going to take in the way, and you're pretty thinned out already. Overwatch could easily kill that last Thunderwolf, and you'd be just the Wolf Lord by himself.
Yeah, you would spend the fate dice to hit on the 6
Yep.
for something. Probably the fire prism.
And maybe even the Guardians if they have just volume of fire, but I guess if you're guaranteeing it, yeah, pick the big damage.
Well, and then the not the wave serpent, the support weapon platform does have sustained.
So 6s will each be 2.
Yep. And then there is a stratagem you can use to give it old shuriken. So 6s to wound or AP 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
Yeah. Though they have a 4-up invuln and a 3-up save, and it's already AP 1 on the shuriken, so you don't really need it.
Yeah. It'd be to negate cover, but like
They're not
probably
going to get
worth
cover.
the CP. Cover is worse than I thought it was. It's every model in the shooting unit needs to be able to see the entirety of the shooting unit. So if if you get into one of those situations where like half your models can see, it's not model to unit cover. It is
It's
full
model to
unit to
model.
full unit.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's not even model to model. I
It's
thought it
full
was
unit.
model to unit. Like the shooting model needs to see the whole unit, because that would make sense to me. It's not. It's the whole shooting unit needs to see the whole target unit, or else there's cover.
Gotcha.
There was a good conversation of that in the Waystone Discord, where I believe it was Brennan was drawing some nice pictures and asking questions. And I'm like, it's this way, isn't it? And he went, yeah, but what about this paragraph? And I went, oh, that's not how I thought that worked at all. And so
I looked at that and I was like, and scroll.
I really like those intricate rules questions.
Yeah. So does Brennan.
There you go.
It's another 6 for the fate dice.
Put it in the pile. All right. This Guardian's scooching up off the point. It's sticky anyways.
Yeah. It's sticky for Storm Guardians.
Yeah, but it has stayed sticky since the Storm Guardians were on it earlier. Right? Nothing is unsticky.
Correct. Yeah. Forgot the Storm Guardians were on it turn 1.
It does make sense to fall them back, right? You don't want to tank those hits, even if you can shoot things anyway.
Yeah.
It's not worth tanking those hits.
No.
One less round of shooting, though. You know, they do potentially get the charge, and some benefits there if they survive. But I think those vets are not long for this world.
No. Nor is that Dreadnought. Or the Iron Father.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He does
Iron Priest.
He does have lone operative when he's within 3 of a vehicle. So
You kill the vehicle first.
Yeah. Yes, that's...
Mm-hmm. Damn it.
What?
He didn't drift it.
Ah. We didn't see it.
There was no drift.
We didn't see it or watch it go.
There's no hauling.
No Tokyo.
No Tokyo. What's the opposite of Tokyo? Kyoto?
Almost.
No, it is just swapped. Kyoto,
Oh,
Tokyo,
it's the T and the K. Yeah.
the TO and the KO, KYO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind War. Cannot.
Yep, there he goes. Checking if he's in 12, because he's next to a vehicle. He's got lone operative. Is he just? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't see him behind the terrain, so I wasn't sure which model you were talking about.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about lead replacement there. He's
He's
in the
up
front.
front.
Yeah, I believe it's T4.
Yeah, Tech Marine's T4. Tech Marine. He is not a Tech Marine. He is a Iron Priest.
Which is annoying because the Iron Hands have Iron Fathers.
Yeah, clearly distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Father, Iron Priest.
Yeah. And
Obviously different units.
we're
Very
gonna
clear which one belongs to which.
yeah, the Salamanders are going to have Iron Vicars, and then it's just going to complete the Catholic scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Four for life. Oof. And Voln saved it. Take the brunt on the shield.
Now, are the rest of them shooting at the father? Because I think they need to be in range on a model-by-model basis?
I
Maybe
believe
not.
so.
Maybe just the unit being in range at all is enough for... Let's look up that rule. Lone operative. Unless, this unit can only be selected if the attacking model is within 12 inches.
He made a save.
Okay.
But that is something good to note. Producer? Lone operative is model to model?
Not unit to model. Just so you know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He made
Since
a
he
save.
passed the save, it's not... Yeah.
Ah, he was
Oh,
going
this is
to
into the vets. Okay.
That's our apology. That's what happens when you don't listen.
When you keep talking about Tokyo Drift and not paying attention to the game.
It's the only good Fast and Furious movie, as far as I'm concerned.
I haven't actually seen any.
Me
of them.
neither. That's one dead dreadnought.
Yeah, and
Maybe we should have a watch party.
Yeah.
so I'll be
I'll bring the popcorn.
Good. Okay. And then the shooting can.
All right, so spent his 2 CP for the reroll, or did the free reroll with the captain, rather?
Right, because that captain's got that free stratagem,
Mm-hmm.
as does the Wolf Lord. He's also a captain, technically.
But can you do the same stratagem? Well, you can't do it in the same phase, obviously.
You can. With the free stratagem, you may repeat a strat that's already been used that phase.
So could theoretically then you do the free one twice and then spend the CP to reroll it?
So you have to do the ordering is such it says you may repeat one that's already been done. So if you do the captain one first, then you can't spend the CP for the regular one. You got to spend the CP, then
Then do the
other
captain one.
Yeah. Because the regular one can't. The regular it doesn't say you may, like you get an extra of this one. It says if it's already been done, you can still do it with the free thing.
No. Scorecard. W. Saved it.
Well, that is the lone
That's not even.
object.
Okay, so I can't see. So I don't think we can have any target other than.
I do think I've seen, speaking of movies, you've seen like an obscene number of times.
I guess I'll just throw them on the same thing. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I think they're all loading onto one or the other dread. That
Yeah.
dread. Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, snake eyes.
Cool. So I think this is the moment where I.
Some Ulthway reroll.
Eldari reroll for and crystal target matrix.
There we go. Right, you get to reroll both. Yep.
Okay, so that's one.
At least that's one hit.
And I need a 3. Okay, so that's one.
And there's the 6.
Barely makes it. I believe that was a 5.
I don't have to take the 4-up involt on this thing, and I don't know why you would ever not do it.
Okay.
They're way more resilient than they should be.
That's spiking saves for sure. All right.
Yep, the 4-up involved. Yeah, the shield, the free
Yeah.
shield on the dreads.
Well, I guess
Does it then? It then stops you from taking the twin frost claws, I assume.
Probably. Let's take a look at their second page because I can do that now. They usually have Stormbolter, Great Axe, Claw, and this war gear option, this first bullet's worded really weirdly. The Great Axe or Claw and Stormbolter. So is it? Depends on the where the parentheses are on that or and that and. Can be replaced with the Blizzard Shield and a Stormbolter. So you get the Stormbolter back anyway.
Yeah.
And then you can replace Stormbolters with Heavy Flamers as well.
Which is exactly what I would do.
Yeah, he's taken Heavy Flamer, Axe, Shield.
Yep. On any sort of melee dreadnought.
Yeah, you're going to be
Take
up
the
close
flamers.
anyway. And that way when things are charging you, you can overwatch if you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then strength 4 to 4, so 4's.
Did you?
I didn't count for it, which is alright. Count for lethal hits. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you gave them some power or
I
something.
did lethal hits, and I forgot about it.
Okay.
That's cool.
Uh,
So that's 3 at -1.
there were 3 lethals.
I do lethals? Okay.
Well, he'd already rolled the wound, so.
The benefits of us being here. With our distinct, incredibly consistent
You said mine.
dice cam.
I also realized when producer Lily put Snake Eyes in the chat, it may not have been rolled yet on stream because of the
Oh,
stream
no.
delay.
Yeah, it never does.
Spoiler alert.
Yep.
I'll use my Eldari reroll here. Okay, that's an explosion. Cool. And then strength 6.
Yep.
1.
Ooh.
Oof.
That's 1, sorry. 4 up. This is a 2 damage.
And so that'll finish off one more Assault Intercessor.
Mm-hmm.
This will be
He does still have those
6.
long fangs in reserve. I'm
Yep.
thinking about how the board is thinning a bit, but you
Yeah.
know, there's still some intercessors here and there. But it's that blob over that home objective that's
Yeah.
a little scary. Now, if he can hold them back there and just I'm just keep standing on these objectives, keep surviving another turn, rack up some primary points,
You killed
he'll be in a good spot. I mean, he still holds all 3 objectives at this point, all 3 no man's lands.
the lone bite.
For the wolves?
For the wolves, yeah.
Yeah. And kills the guy on 1 wound.
I believe as long as he's still got 1 on there, are Guardians OC 1 or 2?
2, their battle line.
2, okay. So as long as he's got 2 on there, he holds it. When it goes to 1, they'll tie. Unless there's a second Guardian touching. It looks like there's just 1 touching.
It looks like there's only the Juan. And these look like they are the Rangers.
Also shooting. Can they all? Can any of the Rangers see the?
They're to the Dreadnought.
Oh, into the Dread.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was trying to finish off those assault intercessors because they're on the point.
Nope.
But now he wants them to bring it down points.
Yep, there's 2 wounds, 2 3-ups.
And it's a 6 and a 2. And so he's down to 1, I think, because he was at 3 before.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I just have these guys left, I believe. So, see what I'm in range of. Really like to do some damage here.
So, like, it's definitely some assault intercessors cleared out. But as far as shooting goes this turn,
Not incredibly effective.
everything else.
Dan's
still
been
steady.
rolling super hot on his
I
saves.
mean, bad advance rolls, good saves. I think that's a
Mhm.
trade-off I'd be willing to take.
I would absolutely take that any day.
This is something I've been thinking about Space Marines in general. You know, against some of these other armies, I always want just a few more bodies, just a few more. You know, maybe I should be bringing more of those cheap Imperium units, like we were talking about. You know, trading off one of my other things for it. But like here, you know, looking like they've got a decent hold, but they're starting to thin. If there was just a few more bodies to relieve them,
Yeah.
you'd feel really confident about this position. But as it stands, it's still a bit precarious. You know, if you thin out a bit more, can you survive another? You know, it's only turn 2. You
Yeah.
gotta survive a few more rounds of shooting.
All of the tricks for the Eldar are out of the bag, though.
Right.
So it's, can you kill enough of the Guardians and enough of the fast units that they can't really get out anywhere, right? And we still do have those grav weapons to come out from the back corner
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
just blow up a fire prism.
Turn 3, they could just show up anywhere in there, yeah, and they'll have the anti-vehicle on 2s for those grav cannons.
So that's going to be 2 minus 2.
Force.
And there's the saves.
Oof.
Nothing.
Standing strong
Oh,
on 3
6s.
wounds. Good old
That's
exploding.
the number of shots.
Yeah. No, those were explosions.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
lethal. Yeah.
The shuriken cannons from the support squad. Oof.
Feeling pains. Oh my god.
Did he just roll 2 6s?
He sure did.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, that's rude of me.
And he's still standing, folks. That's gotta hurt for the Eldar when you have bring it down. He's sitting
Yeah.
there on 1 wound.
It's just the from the horror movie, that gif. Oh my god.
Okay, and then the rest of them should be 8 into the Vanguard vets.
All right, it shots into the
These
vets.
Vanguard vets are not long for this world.
No.
No invuln on them.
We should have a 4-up, right?
Captain. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, because they brought the shields. That's
Yep.
right.
Shields and heirloom weapons.
Yeah, so 3-up, 4-ups. And the captain's actually 2-up with a 5-up field of pain because of the artificer armor.
And these Eldar are wounding on 3s because of Doom. Doom.
Doom.
Slow roll on
Just gonna slow roll them.
18 minus 27. Okay. First die is good. Excellent. Then these are threes.
These AP1?
Yep.
Okay.
Twos to 3.
So 2 go through.
And a 5-up shrug.
What's the damage on him?
1 damage each.
Feel no pain. Don't make him. So he goes to 4 wounds.
I was there, Gandalf.
Right.
I was there on the slopes of Mount Doom.
Doom.
Anything. Since you guys are shooting melee.
Looks like the captain's standing.
We're gonna
Strong.
go and charge.
4 wounds?
Okay.
2 wounds?
Should be 4. 6 down to 2. 6
Yep.
down to 4, sorry. 6 minus 2. Down to 4.
Math.
Math. Not my strong suit.
Yeah, so now he's got to decide those charges. Do you want the Guardians to do charging? I mean, they
It's
fell
the Storm
back.
Guardians.
The ones down below, what gave them fall back and shoot?
Stratagem.
Yeah. So it'd be what? Do you have
The Storm Guardians into the captain.
that's those ones in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Eldred. Because he is
The
anti.
captain or the dreadnought or the Iron Priest?
Iron Priest. He's not a father. He's just a
I
priest.
think he wants that dread actually.
Yeah.
And he might charge a bike into the dread? I don't know.
Those
How are
bikes
the
don't have
specs?
any melee profile.
Oh no?
No, it's just your standard close combat weapon.
Mm,
They're not Shining Spears. Those are just Guardians.
Gotcha. Okay. I was thinking of Shining Spears.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna fate dice a.
Yeah, fate dicing the charge is a good it's a good move.
So I'll fate dice a 6 plus that for the charge, and this is gonna be Eldari squad into Tech Marine and
Alright.
Dreadnought. So 7.
There it goes. The same as last time. Guaranteeing the 6, rolling the 1. 7 inches, I think, will do it.
Looks about right.
Maybe. Yeah, 7 and change. Yeah. Now, does it get into both? They have to, because he has to get into both. If he doesn't make it on the priest, he doesn't get to do this charge. Because he targeted both of them. Producer Lily, can you make sure that he made it into both targets?
Tech Marine and the Dread, yes.
You don't look in engagement range of that Tech Marine.
Of what?
The Tech Marine. You have to make it into engagement
Oh.
range.
You get the Tech Marine with the 7-inch charge.
One of them? I guess if they all drive moved over.
Okay. Yeah.
Or should I just CP reroll it? I don't know.
I forget where you started. I'm fine with it.
What do you think?
Yeah, like if,
That's another 10th roll I keep forgetting, so maybe I failed.
I think you needed 8 for the Tech Marine because he's a little further.
Maybe I failed it.
okay.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I failed it.
Yeah, this is the thing that makes it hard when you pick 2 targets for a charge. You have to make it to both of them, so you need to measure and take the longer one. Those Guardians that fell back, does the stratagem let them also charge?
Yep.
So they fall back and shoot and charge.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is the first one that they have, and I don't remember what it's called. Feigned Retreat. Fallback, shoot, and charge.
There you go. That's a fantastic stratagem.
Producer Lily, whenever the broadcaster battle happens, there's been a request for you to be on the broadcaster's couch.
But then who will produce?
That's a great question.
We'll have to get a guest producer also?
Guest producer?
Cool. I guess I'll
It just can't be Stefan. He'd get too confused by all the technology. He would be a great guest commentator.
Stefan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Speaking of guest commentators,
Mhm.
we will not have a stream next week for Labor Day weekend because I will be at PAX,
Yeah.
as will producer Lily. But the week after, I believe that's September
The week of the
9th,
9th.
the week of the 9th, we will have a... So go ahead.
I won't be here because I'm going to be down at a Warhammer tournament.
However,
Sadly.
we will have a special guest caster
To replace me.
that many of you will know and recognize, and I will tease who that is at the end of the stream.
Sure.
And we'll have a game with a special guest caster.
It's going to be a great game.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right, lad, I'm not going to wait till the stream. It's Ed. Ed is going to be casting our first guest who played World Eaters. I'm terrible at it. I can't hold the suspense. Like and subscribe to get, click the bell to get notified when we go live in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's it, I guess.
Ongoing combat. Yep. Cool. Assault intercessors.
Now it looks like those Guardians weren't quite able to bring down that.
That dread
not.
still sitting
Still
on
on one wound.
We're on the objective, so I
Excuse
get
me.
three rolls on wounds. And that was actually my oath target. I think that lasts
Yes, Oaths does last for the round. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
till your next command phase, rather.
4 rerolls.
So we still got Oaths on these.
Mm-hmm. Those Wraith Blades are not looking along for this world.
Now the question is if the Thunderwolf Cavalry are still in. I don't know if
don't-
they're playing as if they are or not.
I don't believe so.
So then 5 rerolls.
It doesn't quite look like they're base to base. It looks like one of those Assault Intercessors is taken over.
So yeah, that's 7. 7 saves to you. AP1.
On the
Wraith Guard. Wraith Blades, sorry.
threes. Kills one, and puts on two.
All right, so close to getting that Wraith Blade down. 2 wounds left.
Still there.
Just keep hanging on.
Okay. Then
And then there'll be
here.
the Dreadnought going back over there, yeah.
Hmm
Attack.
The alternate here, or what?
And
Sure. I don't think it changes.
It doesn't change.
Go for it.
now, what Chris has done, I'm not sure if this was inadvertently or if it was planned. Those Thunderwolf Cavalry, while they're not in combat, cannot get to the Guardian Defenders on the tempting target. They physically cannot go through the tanks to get on the objective.
Ah,
To
you
score.
mean for the home objective?
Yeah, for Defend Stronghold. Sorry, not tempting target.
Right, Defend Stronghold doesn't score until the end of the next turn.
So, remembering that it is the Defend Stronghold objective, that was absolutely intentional
Great positioning
by
of those
Chris.
tanks, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic positioning. And
I
this-
think this was a really good round for the Space Wolves.
It's
I think
so
some excellent rolling on those saves.
those saves are nuts.
To not lose much. I mean, for those dreads to still be standing, this is a great position looking good for going into turn 3. You're looking, you're going to have, 15 points on primary. You're going to have all 3. And then, lots of good charging targets, even areas where you don't have to necessarily come off those objectives if you don't want to. In fact, that top left objective, the one you'd want to leave anyway, because it's not going to be there come
At the
turn
end
4.
of the turn. Yeah.
Okay, so it kills 3, and kills the 4th one, and then I have 2 on the platform. Save 1. So the platform has 1 wound left.
Cool. And I missed when activating him. Bestial Rage on a 4.
Yeah, so
You take D3 mortals. On a 6, you take D3 plus 3.
Yeah, so when the Dreadnought fights, you select a unit you're in engagement range with, you roll d6 and do some mortals. You get a +2 if you charged on that roll. And then it's, a 4 or a 5 is d3, a 6 is d3 plus 3 mortal wounds.
I do get Defense Stronghold, at least.
I can't quite tell if that Guardian squad is just
Defend Stronghold scores at the end of the next turn.
well, there's no way for
Yeah, that's true.
this yeah.
We'll go ahead and mark those points now.
Yep, and we're on to your turn.
And he's still holding on to bring it down, which is fair. Those Dreadnoughts are about to die, but that hurts to hold on to that for 3
Yeah.
turns.
Start with the missions.
All right,
So
secondaries.
before we update the score, just a bottom of 2 update. 20 to 21, really close game. Within that point, just barely in advantage of the Eldar. And then we'll go into scoring for 3.
Yep. So top of 3.
15 on primary.
And immediately that 1 point lead
Boom, boom, boom.
gone. And it was no prisoners, and I missed the second one.
Could you just repeat those secondaries?
Defend stronghold.
Oh, there you go. Defend stronghold again.
A
Also,
nice mirror.
not a lot of Eldar around there.
And then I take 15.
So you said no prisoners?
Yep. And I'm not quite sure if that Guardian squad is just down to the Farseer on the support platform.
I believe so. He said the support platform's at 1 wound, and that's all.
If so, if there's no Guardians left in the squad, the support platform's just gone.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
I go up to
Do-do-do.
All right, so no prisoners is units killed, right?
I believe so. Let's go ahead and pull that one up. No prisoners. Each time you destroy a unit, 2 VP to a maximum of 5.
Perfect.
There you go.
Very doable.
And defend stronghold, you know, as we said before, hold your home objective.
Yep.
At the end of the next turn, you get it.
We're in the unfortunate position of any time that
I'm not sure I can fit 5 Marines in that box.
any movement from the Space Wolves might proc Overwatch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good Overwatch right
There's
here.
a lot of
and
great Overwatch.
so many of them, these Space Marine units are on their last legs. Just a couple wounds left. Yeah, that Overwatch is what you really got to be worried about here.
And you really don't want to
Those guys are
trigger that.
well screened from the folks that I want to bring in off the field to deal with them.
Does he have any free strats left as well? Or is that just the...
It's every turn.
No, that the Eldar have. Who gives the free strat?
Nobody that he brought.
Okay,
I believe it's the Autarch.
got it. Okay. I was saying if there's multiple Overwatches, right?
So
Nope.
oath of moment
Right.
is gonna be this guy.
Okay, so
Wave Serpent.
Oh,
is
there's a
on
wave serpent
5.
down in the corner that's got not much left, and if you see those red dice he's lined up in the corner, that's that 9-inch line where you can drop in those long fangs,
With the Grav Keens.
grav cannons, and the multi-melta.
Random question.
Mhm.
What name of a unit do you think is the tastiest
The tastiest,
in Warhammer?
like
No, I'm not gonna.
Was the most appetizing?
most
Just based on the
appetizing.
name, not on what the unit actually is.
Ooh,
The one thing
oh, I gotta think about that.
Because there's the Tau have a bunch of like
was-
seafood.
I was thinking about Tau with
Yeah,
So
and then,
I'm not a seafood fan.
me
so
neither. And then the Eldar have like the Falcons, the Hornets, so on.
yeah, not really doing it for me.
The Wave Serpents.
Mm,
Oh, and the heel on the
I was gonna go for maybe like a Tyrannid of some kind.
then I think we're on to movement.
but it's just based on the name.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think if there's a Tyrannid name that sounds like food.
Nummy.
Hmm.
I don't know. So in this conversation, the Iron Priest has healed that Dreadnought.
Dread, right? He
A
can
little
heal
bit.
the D3.
D3?
So, how many wounds is it up to?
A number
Can I
greater
ask
than
Dan
one.
to say how many wounds that Dread is at?
5 and 3.
5 and 3.
5 in
Nice.
the center, 3 here.
Oh, he's not. So he's 3 wounds, not 1 wound.
Mm.
We
Oh,
thought
because he
earlier.
made all of his Philippines.
Right, right.
Let us know down in the comments what Warhammer unit you think would be the tastiest, based on its name alone.
Yeah.
Watching, and I'll just hit the 6. Actually, within the far seal, start a new battle round. I'll make a 1. Let's flip it to 6.
Okay.
And then I get to roll the other one. 5. I'll reroll. 6.
Oh,
2.
okay.
And then now I need 2s.
The Hammerhead is a good one, though I'm not sure about the legality of eating
6 damage.
sharks.
Sharks. Yeah.
I guess it's the 41st millennium. That law is gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So are the
It's also-
sharks.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, space sharks. The Kakardons exist.
Oh, you got him.
There's the Manta.
Got him.
Mm.
Okay. Does he
I don't know how Manta tastes.
Piranha.
Mm.
Oh, yep, and
Dreadnought's gone.
that's the Overwatch we were talking about.
Yep. So let's bring it down. That also just removes bring it down
Yeah, so, I mean, he has a chance
to
to
get
kill
more.
the other one in melee. But yeah, bring it down.
Died within 12 inches of him. He now has 6
It'd be 3 points, right? 2 for killing, 1 for the extra.
So he gets angry.
He gets angry.
I do.
You killed his ancient box, but he's actually hiding a bit.
Yeah, so bring it down is going to score off turn here, which means he'll get to finish it and then draw another one on his turn.
Which is great for him.
Yeah, that's actually really fantastic rather than holding on to it for another
Fantastic points
You
generation.
did want to get both if you could, but I mean, what is that? 3 VPs? Not terrible
Mm-hmm.
for something you've held on to this long.
So that pops at. The Thunderbolt will advance. +1 for the Lord, so it's 14.
I'm still stuck on this. What would taste the best?
Do they have advanced charge?
They do not.
So it's just
Wyvern?
that's been out of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mmm.
I mean, there's the Hellhound.
I don't think a Hellhound would be tasty, though. A little burnt for my
Ash.
taste.
Yeah. Or it's like Supreme Barbecue, one of the two.
Is there something that's named for some sort of hog?
Squig
Hog boys.
Squigs. Yeah, Squig Hog
Squigs,
Boys.
yeah. This is quite the nerd snipe here.
Yeah, this is going to be a question that's just going to haunt me.
These guys will just scooch back.
I mean, there's the lion.
Yeah, no. Too gamey.
If that's what you're looking for.
Alright, so the Salt Intercessor's just, tucking behind, hiding a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, that is a ruin.
Right.
Ruin.
It's so ruined, the trees have already started growing up through it.
Mm-hmm.
Nature's healing. Yep, and there we are with those those long fangs.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like
Okay.
all of them, or all but one of them, are going to have that line on that Wave Serpent.
I believe the one at the top is the sergeant with the signum.
Do.
I'm going to start
Good point. The Sergeant does need to draw line of sight for that special ability for the Pack Leader.
on to
But they're already rerolling because oaths, so
Yeah.
he doesn't need to.
Yeah, all of them will go into the Guardians. We'll definitely get cover.
So that looks like the
How many
Missile launcher.
Iron Priest there has tucked behind the building to hold the objective and
Yep.
be hidden. And then that captain of the jump pack, just says,
Zoom, zoom.
"Cowabunga."
Mm-hmm.
These are Storm Guardians. They have swords.
Okay, the Storm Guardians. How many are in the Storm Guardians? Should also be 10. Sorry. So they're targeting the Storm Guardians. That's,
Okay. Storm Guardians have an emblem. The other guys do not. Don't know that matters to you.
got it. No, I want to go into the Storm Guardians just a bit.
An interesting choice up top. The Assault Intercessors have stayed in, and the Cavalry have left when those Wraiths are going to get to attack first. So,
Mm-hmm. But the Wraith can't possibly kill all of them.
not enough attacks, right?
Yeah,
But he could tie the objective.
maybe. They are battle line.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
they have a C2?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they could tie it.
Well, no, the Wraith Blades aren't battle line.
Oh,
They're
that's what I was
C1.
saying. You say the other way. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Other way around, yeah.
This one? AP? 0. AP nil. And I think you get cover.
So it should be a 3-up.
3d3 shots from the plasma.
Please, McKinnon. So the previous was the blast profile from the missile launcher.
Gotcha.
Drop it down.
Right, those other ones are...
Platform?
Mm-hmm.
The platform is a model.
Okay, so then I think it's 2 for each one. So is that right? There's still 10 in there.
Well, yeah, it's still time.
Yep.
It's counted at the start of your shooting.
Yeah.
So on 3,
So, if you kill some, you don't lose blast for the rest of your guns.
Yep.
on 2s. So that is 7 at AP -1.
All right, and the plasma cannon's not going hazardous because there's no real need for it.
Right.
That's not bad.
Hey,
That was pretty good.
the Guardian's getting cover, so they have a 3-up.
Right.
Quite good.
Yeah, because it's just that thin line that they have line of sight there. So
Mhm.
Okay, that's it for them.
and
Intercessors are going to shoot with their pistols.
yeah, might as well if you can pick him off,
Might as well.
then you don't have to take the wound.
Well, he does have the fight on death.
It's true, but that's on a 4-up.
Yep.
So that's better than a guaranteed get to fight into you,
Mhm.
but just one. So
No chance.
just make it a little easier to take him down after.
The Dreadnought is going to flamer.
The squad?
Yeah, flamer, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Auto hits.
6 auto hits. Woof.
It's 4 at AP1.
Heavy flamers. Quite good.
Turns out.
I believe a 5-up.
Takes damage. Platform's dead. 4 1.
All right. So just that Farseer left down there.
Hmm. Yeah, so technically speaking, once the Guardians are gone, that platform should also be
It
gone.
just auto dies.
Yeah.
So is that you should put the wounds on the platform before the Guardians?
Yeah, because the platform is 2 wounds.
So you do Guardian, 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 and then there was just a Guardian and a platform you left. Allocate platform, then Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, does that Vindicare just not able to see the Farseer there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So probably going to target the Wave Serpent then.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Just
2.
Oof.
Nope.
it's the Oaths target, but the Vindicare doesn't get Oaths because he is not a Space Marine, or she.
It's
Okay, so then we're
It's probably most accurate.
they.
It's
I think they.
3 shots each.
We don't know what's under that suit.
And these guys can't
like the Pyro in
Yeah.
Team Fortress.
Yeah, it's the Pyro on Team Fortress. It's Ghost Rider. The Assassins are just Ghost Rider.
unless there's like a -1.
Did you know there was a Headless Horseman Ghost Rider?
That's cool.
Yeah, they drove a carriage. Like a 4-horse carriage.
So for no prisoners, finishing off that platform counts as a unit because
Yeah.
the bodyguard unit is a unit.
Hmm. So that's 2 points.
And I vehicle 2 up. So that's 6 at EP. -1, but 3 damage each.
So it should be
3
4 ups.
damage each. Wow.
Yeah, grav cannons.
I guess they technically am in cover because I'm not fully visible to everybody in your unit, right?
Okay.
That is how that works. Got to be every model, even the ones that aren't shooting.
Hmm.
So damage 3, you said?
Cool. And then in multi-melta.
It looks like damage is counting up instead of down. Oh, there was a hidden die that we couldn't see.
Aha. No, we saw that earlier that it was 5 when he was selecting O's. I was like, aha, because that one's already taken some damage.
Strength 9, so on force. 2 wounds.
O's doing work there.
4.
It should be in Melta range. 24 inches.
Melta's 18.
No.
Yeah.
This is Malta? Multi-Malta? So what's
Yeah.
D6 plus 2?
You are outside of melta range.
Because Deep Strike, he has to be outside of 9, so
Yeah.
you're not going to get the Melta damage.
Take 1.
It's honestly, I think I didn't like when multi-meltas went down to 18 instead of 24, except for that part. You're like, yeah, it makes sense that you want deep meltas not to be able to get the extra damage on
Yeah.
the Deep Strike turn.
And did get the Wave Serpent anyway.
And there
rolled,
it is.
rolled that 5. Does not explode.
On the Rangers.
Okay, so I think that's it for shooting.
Yeah. That's a
So
good
that's-
pick off on that Wave Serpent.
That's 2 points, or 4 points for bring no prisoners.
Yeah.
Have any charges? Actually, yeah, this guy is going to charge.
At least so far. I guess we can tally that up as we go. 1, 2,
Mhm.
3, 4 on no prisoners. And opportunities for more.
5 attack.
One more to max it out at 5.
Yep.
On 3s, devastating wounds.
Which he's got those the Wraith up top. And I mean I don't think he has enough to clear all the guardians, but
It's devastating wounds.
oh, so that could carry over.
6 devastating wounds.
It's
it
damage on
4?
2s, so
4 mortals. Yeah.
and then the 4 mortals, boom, 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 one each, right?
Yeah. And now they're not in coherency.
They are out of coherency. That is correct.
But then they get to pile in.
Yep, pile in to get back in coherency. Yeah.
And I forgot, the Serpent Scale shield support system gives them a 5-up invuln.
Oh, that's nice. He may want to actually fight with the Wraith first, because there's no reason to start fighting here sooner.
That would have been the tactically correct play.
Yeah, that actually might be a big misplay if the if now the intercessors clear that Wraith, don't lose anything for it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not quite sure if Chris kept both of the power blades, but those power weapons, the power swords,
In
sorry,
fact-
are AP2.
Anything but that one, because that one they've already been fought into. Down, you've got the Farseer into the Dread, which is not a great one, but that's also in trouble now, and the Wraith up top into the intercessors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt now.
Eldrad? Oh, that was Eldrad.
Yeah,
Oh,
this-
anti-infantry 4.
Mm.
Or anti-character 4? Let's check! I wrote it down!
I thought you said he was anti-infantry too.
Yes. Yep, his staff in melee is anti-infantry too.
It's wild.
Do you want to start here or there?
Dan
It's
gets to choose.
it's Dan's choice at this point.
No, you start with the...
No, because he
Oh.
already fought back with them, so it went to Chris, and now it's back at Dan.
Yeah.
Let's go with the assault intercessors.
Yeah, it's the good choice. Like, if you pick that off, you're not losing, because they hit hard in melee, so you don't want to get hit by that Wraith.
Right, and you're rerolling all wounds, right? Because he's on an objective. Or
And
is
he's
it
on
just
objective,
ones?
so yeah, exactly. You're rerolling all the wounds.
Yeah.
Even though you're wounding on 5s.
Yeah, whatever. That's good.
I think he just, if I heard, he spent a CP for +1 to wound, but that would be
so.
Lance, which you need to charge for Lance.
Full rerolls to wound on the objective, so it's going to be 4 rerolling.
I'm not sure on that one. You're the Space Marine expert.
Yeah, Lance, the stratagem that gives you Lance assuming it's stratagem, that's because that's what I heard. Lance only triggers on a charge, and they didn't charge this turn.
This would be something to ask.
Yeah. Dan,
Yeah.
what was that +1 to wound from?
Honor. I think it's honor the chapter.
Lance only gives you +1 to wound on the charge.
Oh, on the charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
Then let's.
What is reroll if I get more than 8 saves out of it?
No. So yeah, let's just re.
Mm.
Yeah,
restart
he's got
the
one.
thing.
Yeah, just go for it again.
Okay. Sorry about that.
take your CP back also.
Okay. So.
I'll
Is there a different way to get +1 to wound?
Not that I'm aware of for the Space Marines.
Not for the Gladius?
Not on Gladius.
So on 5s, still full reroll. 'Cause,
Yeah, Lance says if you made a charge move,
Yep.
you add 1 to that wound roll.
Because, you know, if you have an actual lance, right? You
Right.
do-
You charged into them,
Mhm.
right?
He lives now.
Okay.
I'll swing it back.
And so he lives.
Yep.
So that actually, it does make the difference there,
Mhm.
even with the rerolls. 5s versus 4s
Yeah.
on rerolls, big difference.
Fives for life. 2 dead homies.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 attack.
And so that you know, said it was a misplay earlier to not start there, but it's
It
worked
ended up
out.
working out.
The dice have moved around in his favor. Now, I think the Assault Intercessors still hold the point because 2.
OC2. All right, 6 into the Farseer.
Damage? Okay,
The
sweet.
sweet, yeah.
Yeah, on that sweet profile, 10 attacks.
The Farseer should have 4 wounds. So down to 2.
There you go. And if the Farseer can pick off the Dreadnought, that'll be bring it down points.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also this turn.
That Singing Spear, though, is only strength 3.
It can happen.
Stranger things have
And
happened.
he also, if he has the Fate dice to get some to use some 6s.
It is AP 0.
Yeah, that hurts.
Is it? Is it? Am I?
And the Ulthway reroll. Oh, maybe not.
Singing Spear is AP 0.
There's a 6, 1 and no AP.
Yay, 3 damage. Got him.
6 of feel no pain.
All right, the feel no pains.
Oh.
The melee is only 2 damage.
Did he make one of the feel no pains? He made a feel no pain, so he's
He
alive
did.
at 1 wound. Oof.
He would have been alive at 2. Because it's only 2 damage, but...
So defend Stronghold will be another
3
turn,
points.
but it's, we're going to score.
Well,
really
there is
liquid
the
for this one.
Skyrunner, but the Skyrunner's only...
Yeah, it's not going to make it enough.
Or Shroud
We'll
Runner,
see.
sorry.
For no prisoners, he killed 2
4.
units for 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
And bring it down. Producer
Pretty
Lily, could you remind Chris that bring it down scores on his turn? On Dan's turn.
On Dan's turn, yeah.
Oh, okay. So is it gone?
Yep.
Yeah, so you got 3 points for that one dread. 2 for the dread and 1 because it's tactical.
Ooh.
I mean, those synergize well, and they're what you need to do for primary.
Unfortunately, it's get on objectives when you don't really have a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's got enough bodies to get to that middle objective if he wants to. He could fall back away from the captain, right? Get some bodies on there. He could move the Wave Serpent up there, and that'll get him one of them. The other objective, I mean, he could just run the Rangers up.
Yeah.
Just run them onto the objective. There you go. That's 2 in No Man's Land, both of which you've taken from the enemy, and that would be 10 points on secondary right there. As it stands, he's got no primary this turn.
Yep.
But he's in a decent position once those Alpha and Omega objectives start disappearing, right? That top left is going to go away. The middle and the bottom are going to be where it really matters.
And they're worth 8 points next turn, too.
Right. So big swings are possible. Pulling up that scorecard right here. Big turn for the Space Wolves, getting a pretty solid lead in there. But remember, this is still bottom of turn 3, so
Yeah.
there's opportunities for Secure No Man's Land and Storm Hostile get scored.
That was a 22-point turn.
Yeah, really, really big.
Time to Fortune. That's also in the command phase, but...
Yeah, in this case, I think this is the turn you sacrifice the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
You just run them onto that objective. It'd be 5 OC versus 4 OC, and then it's yours. You might need to advance to get all the bodies on there.
Yeah.
But that's absolutely worth it. It gets you, Hostile is just 5 points for taking it, I believe, for Storm Hostile. There's Secure, yeah, he's Secure No Man's Land and Storm Hostile. Yeah, you control one or more that you're controlled by your opponent at the start of the turn.
And you can also get the Shroud Runner just to go hop on that, too.
Yeah, I can hop on that one, or I
And
can hop
the-
in the middle.
Well, but also, like what they were just talking about, the Iron Priest, it's outside of 3 of the Dreadnought.
Oh, so it's not going to be able to heal it next turn.
And guess
it no
who can
longer has
see
lone operative.
the snipers? And then the Shroud Runner just goes, hops on that objective. Boom, there's Storm Hostile.
Yeah, exactly. Those Rangers move in. Yeah.
Mhm. Shroud Runner's got Fly and it's speedy quick.
Yeah, and the Lord, I think, is just OC1.
Yep.
Yeah, Iron Priest, or sorry, the Iron Priest, OC1. What's the bikes, OC?
Also one.
Also 1, so you'll at least tie it just by moving that. And yeah, the Wave Serpent can bring it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering that top objective is vanishing.
Yeah.
Top of the next turn. Oh, and let me mark that it is the Aeldari turn now.
See on this guy?
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah. Wave
OC2?
Serpent's OC2. There you
Yeah.
go.
Boom. Yoink. Infinite possibilities.
There you go. Middle objective's yours. And next turn, that middle objective, 8 points. You do have the cavalry coming after you,
Oh well.
but
They're AP1.
yeah. I think that Wave Serpent can survive. Were those dice under him his wounds?
Yes. 8 wounds left.
Make sure those don't get forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Fallback shooting and charging with the Farseer, yeah.
Yeah, it would be smarter to go into the assault intercessors, mayhaps.
That might be where he's going. And go pick him off. And those Rangers already have enough OC to take the point.
With the Dreadnought.
You could Overwatch with the Dreadnought.
Yep, that's the move.
Okay, I'll use the once per battle round. Actually, can you CP reroll a number of shots?
I believe so.
Uh,
No. Well, I'll just spend the 2 CP.
but also, yeah, that free stratagem is would have to be targeting the unit that the Lord is the captain's in.
On threes.
No, okay.
He rolled
No
1
hits.
into a 2 and then didn't wound.
And no wounds.
I mean, that Farseer
Just
deserves
Farseer lives.
Yeah,
uh,
2 each.
Yes, those Rangers are going to have to jump on there as well, probably.
And then also, if the Shroud Runner shoots at those intercessors, the assault intercessors, gives everything else shooting at it lethal hits.
Ooh. Yeah.
Which also means those Guardians
I would
are
say
up
the
top.
Guardians up top there have nice clear line of sight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Especially with the Shuriken Cannon.
I'm gonna spend my last CP on adaptive strategy. They get to, or
They get
squad
to-
tactics rather. D6 inch move. Okay.
That's an interesting choice.
6.
Nice.
They're just going to retreat into the building?
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a phantasm.
Yeah.
That's a good
One
move.
of you are within
That's very smart.
Yeah,
I would
get-
not
get
have
some more
done that.
bodies on there. I would not have thought of that.
Me neither.
It's gonna move. So we got 4 more bodies on it. So now,
OC8.
yep, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we are. So now, even if he gets all the Rangers on there, 5, 6, 7, he's not enough. So he does have to do some killing. Now, those Assault Intercessors,
Or even the Longfangs, right?
I mean, the Assault Intercessors are OC2, right? More
Yeah.
bang for your buck per body. But also, you want to get rid of some of that. That anti-vehicle, too, and the grav cannons hurts, and your vehicles are a lot of what's left. So clearing them out would feel real nice.
Yeah. That Fire Prism at the top wasn't quite a holla, if you know, but
A
almost.
little bit. Is he going to leave those Rangers there?
I would be very surprised if he did. I mean, they are heavy, right?
Yeah, and they do have line of sight on the Iron Priest right now with that heavy, which is a benefit. But I feel like you gotta like make sure you get that objective by putting.
Well, he already has it. Well, he has one of them.
No, he's
but he
like the
doesn't
bottom one
have-
because you need to for secure no man's land. You need 2.
Yeah. He might be relying on his shooting.
It's possible. Yeah, he's going right into shooting. He is going to leave the Rangers there for the heavy to shoot at that Iron Priest. Keep now wanting to say Iron Father because you said Father earlier. That's an interesting choice. I mean, I think the answer is that like with all of those Guardians and both Fire Prisms and maybe not quite the Wave Serpent, he feels confident he can clear them, and he probably can.
Yeah.
Hits. Aeldari reroll here. So it's a 3.
A lot of my strategies are about minimizing regret.
Yeah.
Right. So even if the Rangers go over there, giving up +1 to hit, to make sure that that you have that point.
Yeah.
Minimizing regret.
Absolutely.
If you do, and you move, and you shut him anyway, okay, I lost +1 to hit. Minor loss.
Oh no.
But it feels a lot more bad to lose the objective.
Especially since your secondary revolves around it.
Right.
Let's go with the first fire prism here. Shooting the burst profile.
All right, so you get the dispersed shot into the assault intercessors.
Melt the boys in the back.
Ooh,
The
into
Melted
the
Boys. That's, yeah, like we were saying. You want to get rid of that anti-vehicle.
yeah, it's the grav, but it's blast.
Is
Yep.
it blast?
What?
Is it blast?
It is blast.
So you would have gotten one more.
+1 for each shot. Yeah, so 4.
Mm-hmm.
So threes. 2 at -1.
Force.
Good.
Oof, Dan's just been making 4s like crazy. Can't roll an advance to save his life, but can make 4s all
Big
night.
saves all day, every day.
Thanks, man. Crazy.
Chris deep in thought.
Yeah. Really trying to figure out what he needs to shoot at to make sure he gets that bottom objective. I think you got to just pour the Guardians down into the.
Into the assault intercessors.
Your long rifles into your tech marine for now.
Okay.
Great, going with the easy shots here first. The easy decisions, you know
This
they're
is
going to stay the
the
same.
sniper, right?
Yep.
That's the only thing they can shoot. I mean, they could shoot the tread, but they want to shoot the.
Aeldari reroll one of these. So 3 at -1.
Freeze.
2 damage hit.
Okay, he's got 4 wounds.
The Iron Priest, yeah, he's got that base save of 2, so with the -1.
Yep, the artificer
Threes.
armor.
No, the Artificer armor's on the captain.
Yeah, but
The
the
Iron Priest just has the 2 to start.
the 2 up, the artificer armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bike.
Bike got the scatter razor and the long rifle.
The dread.
Oh,
Sorry.
the dread. Cool.
Into
Oh,
the
Bike
dread.
shooting into the dread, not into the
Okay.
OC on the point. That might be a mistake too. He
I
doesn't
think-
have Bring It Down anymore.
No.
Strength 60.
You're not too worried about the dread if you can
That's 1. Wait
put it to the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I might save till after the Guardians have shot.
Yeah.
Right? See if the Guardians clear, and if they don't, then you have a choice to make with the bike.
Aeldari reroll here. Nope.
But the dread is pretty scary, right? If it charges into you next turn, you're just gone.
Basically, whatever that dread touches, it's toast.
Yeah.
Farseer still hasn't done anything. Farseer has strength 9. It's like that's what you want to put into
That's
the
what you
dread.
put into the dread, yeah.
Wounding on 3s.
I think you've got to go with the Guardians now.
Well, there's
Yeah, the
the
Fire
other-
Prison of the Guardians, and then decide what the Farseer needs to go into,
Mhm.
right?
and then
The blast, right?
Yeah, so 6.
Yeah, and he'd have to clear, even if he clears all 5 of those guys, 2 Assault Intercessors is still more than what he's got on the point.
mhm.
Strength 6 and 3s.
Oh, and the bikes are mounted, so they wouldn't count for tank shot.
5 at -1.
Right?
Here's the force. 3 are done.
There's 3 dead on the long fangs. I almost called them
There they go.
devastators again.
I mean, they are basically Devastators.
They are devastators.
They're special Devastators with big beards,
Mhm.
and braids, and
And then same thing again. 3s.
stuff.
So it's going to be 4.
Bombastic attitudes. They are.
Got him.
Mr. Bombastic.
There we go. That's the rest of them.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that those Assault Intercessors are still OC2.
They're still OC2.
So that point is still... And if he had moved the Rangers over, point would be his now.
I mean, he still has the Guardians, right?
He does.
I'm going to have to use the Farseer into the guys in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 number of attacks. 4. Where's Aeldari reroll? And 3 strength 6 to 4. So 3 at -2.
All right, so on 5s.
5s, yeah.
Not somewhere where you want to be rolling 4s.
D3. So 3 damage.
All right.
So one
So now it's
dead.
OC2, so now you're tied.
right? And so just
Can
one
we
more.
check the OC on the Shroud Runners? I might be wrong.
If they're OC2, then yeah. Shroud Runners.
They are OC2.
They're OC2. Okay, so he does hold the
So he
point
does
now.
control that point.
Farseer's OC1, and then the Ranger is probably 1 as well.
It's a Shroud Runner. Miss Producer, could you... No, never mind, he's got it.
OC2? No, I got that.
Yeah.
There he is. So yeah, it's his point now. Okay,
So
that changes the
that's
calculus.
both of his
a little bit.
secondaries.
So yeah, that means, absent any bad charges that cause him to die,
And now I could just put all the Guardians into the
the
captain.
captain, yeah, doesn't need to kill that Assault Intercessor anymore.
Nope.
Make that captain go away, or finish off that dread. It's hard unless you have, lethal hits or devastating wounds or something like that.
Yeah.
The bike did shoot the dread, so everything has lethal hits into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that actually, with the volume of fire on those Guardians,
Yeah,
the
that's
lethal
the
hits
strat,
there
right?
actually might take down that
Mhm.
dread. He's making that split fire decision, which can be a little hard.
I
It's
wouldn't.
range. It's just who's in range.
It's 18-inch range.
Yeah. And then the rest just into the captain.
Sure.
Oh, so if it's 18, they didn't have range for the Assault Intercessors.
No, they didn't. That's right.
So that's why he didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
See, anyway, I knew there was a reason.
I forgot they were 18-inch range. I always feel like they're longer.
Because they feel like they should be.
But the catapult
But
is.
the platform can, yeah.
The platform's 36.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And he only needs one of those shots to go through on the platform. It's 2 damage.
Really, he doesn't need any of them to go through, but for the points.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
He's not SpongeBob.
Yeah, the lethal hits with all that volume.
Mm-hmm.
Everything into the Dread, Farseer into this guy.
Okay.
Okay, so the platform's just going to go on the dread.
Numbers,
And I think that's the right choice here. The Assault Intercessor, he might take out the Farseer or
Yeah.
might take out the bike, but like, it's just one guy. The dread will take out either or both of those targets
Yeah.
if he's still alive.
so 4 minus 2.
4 ups.
All right, because the dread has that shield,
2 go through.
and then he has that 6-up feel no pain.
So,
That's 1. Yep. And then 5 up feel no pain. So that's
6-up feel no pain.
3. And I think another one through.
yeah, I'm gonna probably fade dice.
Oh,
Fade dice make it a 6 with the Farseer. Flip it to 6
Got
and
it.
kill him with 3.
Okay, so let's see.
Is the 5 of Philip pain into the captain?
Let's see.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's on 1.
So he's down to 1.
Yeah, it's a 5 up feel no pain with
Made it one of
Yes,
those
the
5s.
Artificer armor giving him that 5-up feel no pain. Oof, so the dread is alive?
The
The
captain.
Guardians, did the Guardians already shoot?
That was the Farseer.
Ah, okay. Now the volume of fire and the lethal hits.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That was probably the catapult.
Yep.
Or
just
the cannon, sorry,
flared
not the
out.
catapult. This is where you would give them the Blade Storm for the extra AP. So go from a 2, go from 3 up to the invuln, force the invuln. But I don't think Chris has AP, has any CP.
Also, are these guns no AP?
AP 1.
Oh, AP 1, that's already taken you to the invuln.
It's
so you
a
don't need
2
the
up.
extra 3. From the dread?
I believe so.
You're right, 2 up, 4 up. Something else had a 3 up, 4 up I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
probably cover. Well, I don't think it matters because I can't get better than a 3 up with cover. So that's 3s. Okay, and I really hope
Oof. Okay.
does he explode?
Kaboom?
Now that dread's off the
No
board.
kaboom. Both dreads gone.
And that's gonna that gotta feel good now
Mhm.
for the Eldar. Like, a little more confident,
Finally.
taking those things back, and in a really excellent position for turns 4 and 5 when those 2 objectives
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be 8 points each, and then 15 for that bottom objective.
Yeah.
Oh, that Farseer has the anti-infantry 4 up.
The singing spear, yeah.
It could just might be worth going into that Assault Intercessor. Yeah. Yeah, that's really big.
I believe the Singing Spear should have anti-infantry. According to me, it is. I could be wrong.
Double check to see if Doom is just shooting phase or everything.
Doom is everything, but
Doom is until the end of the turn, yes.
All right, yeah. So the Doom triggers in shooting phase, but lasts in fight as well.
Yeah.
So I think he's deciding he's gonna charge something into the
Yeah, Guardian with the Farseer, I think. to do
into
one
that
through.
captain. Just make sure he dies. Finish him off.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I can just get one through, that's what I need.
yeah.
They fell back from the captain,
Yeah.
so they couldn't charge. It's
I
the
think he's taking
Farseer
those
down.
other guardians.
The other guardians just yeet him in there.
Yep.
Oh, because that group has a Farseer as well.
Yeah. So I mean, he has 3 Farseers. Oh, no, 2 Farseers and Eldrad.
2 Farseers, a Spirit Seer, and Eldred.
Make it a 4.
Yeah.
And that's an automatic and something in at least. So I will do that.
All right, so he's using a Fate die to guarantee the charge, then rolling the other die. And again,
So
every charge has been
every
a Fate die
charge.
plus a 1.
It's so unfortunate. Get
Oy.
it? Get it? Fortune.
Fortune.
It gets me right there.
5 and change, just gonna get in.
Yep.
There he goes.
Time to get punched, old boy.
And he'll get a good number in the pile in. But
Mhm. I always end up putting my drink a little too far away,
just out of reach.
just a bit outside.
Producer Lily, could I have a glass of water? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do Wave Serpent into Protect Turn.
Oh,
Yeah, sure, why
If
not?
only there was tank shock.
The Wave Serpent could tank shock. Oh, but he doesn't
No
have the
CP.
CP.
The Wave Serpent has at the end of the movement, the battle shock and the 3 mortals.
Oh.
D3 mortals.
So that'll trigger on the next movement phase?
Yeah,
Interesting.
because that would have killed the Iron Priest.
Is it something of engagement range or?
No, it's at 12 inches at the end of movement.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have done it.
Yeah.
Thank you. My throat needed that.
Water. I keep saying after dinner we should just pop a lozenge.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
5 of the Guardians.
Pre-game a lozenge.
Mm-hmm.
Was that with Doom?
No.
So 5's still going to 4s, and the 3s still wouldn't do it.
I need a 4.
Yeah, okay, you need 5, so that's right, okay.
So these guys, the 3 of them, should be this combo. I think they just have 1 attack.
I'm pretty sure it's one attack with the close combat weapons. These guardians
Yeah.
into the captain.
They're just trying to chip it, right? They just need that little bit to go through.
Hey, they all hit though. That's good. 4s. 2. That's all he needs. Ah,
And then the Wave Serpent.
Wave Serpent into the Iron Priest.
Even looked at the melee profile on the Wave Serpent before.
Let's pull up the Wave
I
Serpent.
also
melee
didn't
profile.
write it down.
Yep, just
Strength
3
6.
attacks, strength 6 on 4s.
Strength 6, T4. So 3.
No IP.
1. No AP.
2.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, might as well.
Okay,
You should
so
bop.
5 attacks with the jetpack boy.
There's the ones we needed for the armor.
6s to wound will do mortals.
To have wounds on that, yep.
Well, 3 at AP 2.
On the what?
Into the
3 at
Guardians.
AP2?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be 5. 6 is another.
Kill 2, pull them off the back. There's plenty of bodies there.
Kill 3.
Oh, 3.
Tech Marine.
Splat.
Oh, sorry.
I go here
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. Pardon me. That might have honestly been a very bad play to not try and kill him.
No, he does not go there first because the fights start with the person whose turn it isn't.
But Dan just went.
Oh, yes, I'm the captain. You're right.
Oh.
Should have gone there, but that objective's not even.
Yeah, it's the same thing we were saying before. They already fought into you. Don't bother fighting back there. Fight on
Right.
the other one. But yeah, he's right. That objective is disappearing. It's a little scary because you'll have that wraith behind you to
Yeah.
countercharge into your cavalry next turn.
Strength,
Um,
8.
9.
Nice. That is 2. I think that's AP2 for 3 damage.
3 damage each.
Yeah, sorry, there were only 2. I think you rolled 3 saves.
Oh, okay, I'll take 3.
Yeah. So Chris accidentally rolling 3 dice on 2 saves, made one of them, failed 2.
Yep.
So just net minus the one of the other fails, and take 3 instead of 6.
I do get secure no man's land for 5 because I control 2.
Sure does.
At the end.
I also get
Storm hostile objective.
gets that. Yeah, it did.
Storm Hostile did.
Storm Hostile did.
Chris, Storm Hostile is just take one that he had, which you did.
Sorry, I was thinking it was take his home.
Nope, you got it. Storm Hostile scored for 5.
I got that with that.
And yeah, I think you, the way that the objectives are.
So here we are with
Those are going out.
bottom of 3,
I have no way to get more.
42 to 34.
I think you have this.
So the Space Wolves still in the lead here, but that's about to swing as we go into turn 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
And no primary for you here.
Yeah. Do you want?
So yeah, that top left objective is gone.
Do it.
So I don't think I can get any more things onto here. So you're gonna get 15 at the end.
All right, so we're hitting an
We're talking
inevitability
about
here.
stage, yeah.
So we're talking it out. That on primary, just where the bodies are.
Can I get a score check? Can we get a score check?
Yeah. So at the top of round 4, before we've done any scoring for round 4 or round 5, you are 42 for the Space Wolves to 34 for the Eldari.
We're not even doing whatever this is. 5 for each one, yeah.
Yeah. I think you got this. I'm pretty good with that.
No, thank you.
All right, we're deciding to call the game early.
Alrighty, yeah.
As the Space Wolves just can't hold on.
not
They've
gonna be able
lost
to
a
hold on
little
to it.
bit too much.
So, yeah, just based on bodies, I mean, he would be able to probably deny the middle with
Yeah.
those wolves.
Mhm.
So only 8 in round 4 for the for them there. But then that bottom corner, especially because they're going second, it'll be 15
Mhm.
for the elves.
So just
And-
on primaries. And then plus, at the end of the game, would get 5 points for every objective they control.
Right, so that's an additional.
2.
Is that right? It does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of the game, that's the only one left.
Well,
Does the
because there's the home objective.
Let's pull up the primary again. 5th battle round player whose first turn scores 15 at the end of their command phase, and then 15 at the end if they control the objective marker No Man's Land. So it's still just
Alright.
the No Man's Land one.
Yeah.
15 points. Yeah. And with secondaries there, 20 points. I mean, you're not going to get that much across. Even if you
Yeah.
get 5, 5, 5, 5, that's 20 points.
Versus
and then if
30
your
on
opponent
primary.
gets one more secondary. And so that's how
Mhm.
that math works out. So we'll go ahead and pull this up with the full score in there all the way through round 5. You talked it out. 42-62, the Eldar. Just the positioning they have there at the end. Again, you got to be anticipating where those alpha and omega objectives are going to be on this mission with supply
And it was
drop.
clever by Chris making the tempting target all the way up at the top to pull stuff away.
Right,
from
tempt him with the
Dan.
one that's going away, so he overcommits to that objective,
Yep.
and then the
And Dan
rest.
smartly didn't overcommit to that objective.
That's our game for tonight, folks. Next week, as I was saying earlier, there will be no stream. Labor Day weekend. We're not working.
I'll be at a wedding.
And producer Lily and I will be at PAX. If you see us at PAX West, say hi. The week after, Garrett,
I'll be out of town. I won't be here.
What are you doing?
I'm going to be at a Warhammer tournament.
Yeah. So, and you're planning to?
I am planning on vlogging it, so keep an eye out on our YouTube channel for an edited video.
Oh, not just
of
more live videos.
my experience of chaos. I won't spoil too much of it, but it's going to be a very long day for me.
However, we still will be having a stream that week, the week of
Mhm.
September 9th, because we will be bringing on special guest caster Ed.
Who was our World Leaders player in our very first stream.
So Ed will be donning his blazer and his shorts,
Mhm.
joining me on the couch, and we're going to have a game we will announce
This week.
this week. Yeah, we'll get those players and armies confirmed, and we'll share that with you.
If not this week, then early next week.
Thanks,
Soon.
everyone, for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you click that bell, you'll get notifications when
Yeah.
we go live.
Leave us a comment. Tell us how we did. Tell us what we
Yeah.
could improve on.
Any last words, Garrett?
Stay safe.
All right. There we go.
Good night.
Bye-bye now.